Welcome back, everyone. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. I am so excited that we get to share this human experience together as fellow humans of one another. So things are changing, and that's okay. And I realized that I was being super goofy before I started this video because I was trying to remember the seed sounds, which I usually do, but anyways, I was singing this song. So you have the root chakra, which is Lam, the heart chakra, which is Yam, and obviously the crown chakra is Om. And so I was over here singing the song, Lam Yam Om, Lam Yam Om, Lummy Lummy Yummy Yummy Om Om Om. And so I don't know why I felt like I needed to share that with you guys, but here it is. Okay. Alright, so welcome to the channel, and today's message is a change is gonna come. And you know, I sat with Source with this for a while because I wasn't sure if this was, you know, like what needed to be next, and I was like, what is it, you know? And I sat in meditation and I kept getting this message, a change is gonna come, and that the collective needs to know that a change is coming. Because I feel like energetically we're all just doing our best to survive right now, and we're all experiencing something, right? Good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, the difficult, whatever it may be, we're all experiencing that. And it's hard, right? It's hard when you don't know where the light at the end of the tunnel is. And we know that we're holding on to hope, and we're holding on to faith, and we're expecting things to, you know, come through for us, and time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future, right? And we're slipping along with it, and we don't know what's happening. And so, yeah, Source was saying that this is the message, and I'm just excited to bring this to you guys today. I was really called to get on and get this out to you, and I've been so goofy this morning and just in general, and I feel like sometimes I don't get to share my goof with you guys, and so I'm gonna start sharing my goof with you guys and let it be, because, you know, there will be an answer, let it be. And that's it. So yeah, let's hop to our prayer and we'll get this reading underway. And I feel like there's more to be said collectively about this energy that's coming in. And if it resonates with you along the way, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, leaving a comment, telling me your story if you feel comfortable sharing it, or just claiming the reading like we have at the end of every reading. I will give you an emoji that you can put down below and use that as a way to confirm the reading. So whatever it may or may not be, thanks for joining us, thanks for being here, and thanks for being your beautiful selves. Alright, my beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for a moment's time, for the entire time. Let us all embrace our weird selves today. Let us all embrace our weird selves moving forward. These are oftentimes the parts of ourselves that we hide because we're afraid that we're going to be cast aside, or we've shared it with people who we were close to and they ignored us, or they didn't appreciate it, or they took it for granted. And one day we felt like we had to lock ourselves in a closet. We felt like we had to hide ourselves from the world because it wasn't accepted by the people that we cared about the most. The people that our inner child fell in love with their potential, not their truth. And so today I ask that you help us embrace our truth, to let go of the potential of the people around us, and let us see without rose-colored glasses any longer. Let us put them down and see the reality of what's standing in front of us, and knowing that while everybody in front of us, everybody around us may have excellent, phenomenal, wonderful potential on them, are they stepping into that potential? Are they being true? Are they being authentic? Are they being who they are? Because sometimes the only thing that matters is that. The rest of it is a ploy for others not to see who they are. to cover up the ick. And so today I ask that you just allow us to see through eyes of truth. Give us an extra boost of faith and hope. As many of us are running on E. We're not, what is it? We're at Empukale. We need to get a push, okay? We need a push, Source. We need the push to move forward. And that's what I asked for today, that push, okay? Because we're struggling to make it on our own, but also realizing that we don't have to do this on our own. That you're there, that our guides are there, that we do have help in the spiritual realm. And we also have our help from our earth angels and the people in the physical realm that are here lifting us up and guiding us, cheering us on, and being the beautiful people that they are, and sharing their light with the world too. We're not alone. We're not the only light workers, and that's such a blessing to know. So may we see with eyes of clarity moving forward today. May we hear with ears of unconditional love. And may we speak from an authentic, grounded, real place that comes from within. As these words are spoken today, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, I'll say. Thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. Oy, stretch. I don't know if I'm going to reach today. Okay. I don't think I moved it. Hold on. Let me slide my little... There we go. I'll move it back just a couple bit. What's a couple bit? I don't know. I just feel like I need to be goofy for some reason. So maybe the collective just needs this extra push to being goofy, to letting themselves just be in that energy of who cares. My dog just tripped on her own toy. Nosedived. She got out of her bed because I guess there's a fly, and she catches flies. She's such a goof. But she got out of her bed, stepped over the other dog, the older one that's sleeping in front of the bed, and stepped on her little seahorse toy that she has, and literally almost face planted into the ground. So it's not just me. It's not just me. Source is definitely coming through with, it's just time. It's time to let your... I feel like we've just all been so serious, and that's the change. Like the change is stepping into a more aligned version of ourselves. It's just more aligned with our inner child, and that's a lot more playful and a lot more real and a lot more true to who we are. And, you know, like personally, when I'm just by myself with the dogs, I make up songs all the time. And I know I've said this before, like I make up songs, and that's why I was sharing my made up song to remember the seed sounds for the gemstones that I picked today. And so, you know, these things are all actually incredibly powerful for encouraging and empowering ourselves. Because when we can be comfortable with our goofiness and our weird, silly selves, and when we can just be comfortable sharing that with others, and no matter how they react or respond to us, we can really stand from a place of knowing that nothing can knock us down. And I feel like that's so important at this time, because I feel like many of us have been knocked around. They're showing me a ping pong ball machine, like we're a little ping pong in there, like, is that right? The pinball, yeah, the pinball machine, the little pinball machine, like ding, 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 ding. We're all just getting like slapped around sometimes by life and by the things that are happening and by the people that are around us. And, you know, no matter where we're at in this life, no matter where we're at in this journey, I feel like it's just important to remember that life is still going to keep lifing. People are going to keep peopling. And the main thing is can we continue to find a grounded, centered place, right? So we're going to be using the Goddess, Gods, and Guardians Oracle today to grab this message. The change is going to come. Source has a plan. So let's get to it. A change is going to come. Source has a plan. Change is going to come. Source has a plan. What would you like to say today for my fellow collective, my fellow humans today, Source? Would you like them to know? My tribe that's here today. What shall we tell them? What do we got going on? Okay, for pile one. A change is gonna come. Oh, already. Right? Sliding in. All right, pile number 2. A change is gonna come. Whoa, okay, you too. You too, we got it. You guys are ready to receive this change. I feel it. Pile 3, a change is gonna come. Source has a plan, and you didn't pop out, but you popped out, if that makes sense. We didn't come sliding into home, but we definitely made it to 3rd that time around, right? All right, so collective energy. Look, I can't make this up. Spiritual transformation. The message has been so clear. And Kali Ma is such a powerful energy, right? This is not just like subtle change. This is a huge shift all of a sudden, where basically it's like you're taking off a coat of your old self and dropping it on the floor, shaking your hair free and running around wild in the wild fields and in the flowers and the grass, and just letting your hair loose, right? Like, that's what this feels like. I don't know what that is for the equivalent for men, right, who have short hair. Like, what is it, letting your hair loose? Like, I don't know, taking your socks off, maybe? I mean, women have quite a few, right? Let your hair loose, snap a bra off, like, you know, but what is that for guys who, you know, don't have long hair? If you've got long hair, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? But if you don't have really long hair, you know, what is that? Taking your socks off, taking your shoes and socks off. Like, sometimes it's the best feeling in the world, like kicking your shoes off and just, being free, right? And I feel like that's what it is. It's like you're kicking off something that it's just no longer working for you. You've been too performance-based maybe, or you've been too prim and proper, or you've been trying to fit into, you know, what you expect people to think of you, or what people expect of you, or whatever it may be. It just doesn't feel real to you. And it's not that you're not being authentic. Like, that's a thing. You do, and you let that part of yourself show at times. But there's something about this change where your spirit's just like, I'm done being isolated. I'm done being made small. And so it feels like this precipice where now finally you've worked so much with letting spirit come through, the higher self come through, source come through, that the emotional ego is shifting and now working in tandem with your higher self. And the shift becomes a massive change for you. And so it's not just spiritual change, but there's going to be a lot of physical change. And it feels like going through the fire. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. At first, it may feel like, oh, we're stretching too far. I don't like that feeling at all. Let's bring it back. But your spirit is like, heck no, let's stretch it until it breaks. Let's see what the breaking point is. And your ego's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I mean, okay, but oh my gosh, you know. And then you stretch beyond that place of where you would have normally gone to, where there's like a boundary or a barrier, block, or an obstacle of some sort, right? Even a hurdle. And you just step right over it and you realize, like, oh my gosh, this was not as wild or crazy or overwhelming as I thought that it was. You're seeing that you're so much more powerful than that. Very fiery energy here. So now it's as if when people touch you, whether that's energetically, emotionally, mentally, or even physically, right? If they're not in vibrance, is that even a word? If they're not a vibrational match with you, they're getting burned. And it's not like a physical burning sensation. It's just this realization that, like, oh, I can't do anything to shake the collective now. Like, there's nothing I can do to get them to come back into that state of maybe where you were being an enabler, or you were minimizing yourself, or you were giving unconditionally to people when they didn't deserve it, or you were forgiving them and in a sense forgetting the things that they did, even though you were keeping tabs on that. Like, there's just this essence where it's now, I'm no longer letting you have the access that you had to me before. And it really does feel like others based. It could be a job, it could be people, it could be a situation, a place, whatever this is coming through. It's just this huge shift, this huge change. And the fact that on a change is going to come reading, we have Kali Ma with spiritual transformation. Transformation is the change. This feels like a spiritual awakening of epic proportions is what this feels like. H-I-J-K. Let's say the alphabet together here, guys. Who does that when you're looking for something alphabetized? Start singing the alphabet in your head like, oh yeah. All right, so we've got, yeah, cycle of intense rebirth. This is your awakening. Didn't I just say that? An awakening of epic proportions. Oh my gosh. Hindu goddess Kali Ma is a fierce powerhouse of creative feminine life force or Shakti energy. The ultimate spiritual transformer, Kali confronts you with your darkest fears while simultaneously activating your eternal light. Yeah, and that's exactly what this feels like. It's like a part of you that you had shunned because other people had shunned it at some point. Like now that's the fear, right? Is being shunned again or being ostracized for some reason or judged or whatever it is. And now you're just like, look, it's like your spirit can't handle the containment any longer. So her razor sharp sword destroys everything that isn't authentic. Look at that. Her skulls represent the death of ego, and she's wearing this. Kali is a lightning bolt of truth that initiates sweeping change. Working with Kali can be an intense process of stripping away, yet it reveals our deepest spiritual power. Her symbols are the void, the cutlass skulls, and red hibiscus flowers. When everything turns upside down, the rug is swept from under you, and the shock of the unexpected reverberates through your entire being. It's likely that Kali Ma is at work. Nothing feels certain right now, and you may feel vulnerable, raw, and confronted with your deepest fears. These are not easy feelings to manage, and you might want to run away from the surge of emotion or exert hard control over the rapidly shifting circumstances in your life. Trust in the divine plan. Source has a plan. Wow, what a synchronicity. As you're entering a phase of phenomenal transformation, Kali leads you to an empty, stripped back space, bringing you face to face with your naked truth. You may see who you really are. Kali will stretch you beyond all your perceived limits, haul you outside of your comfort zone, and shake you awake with sacred revelations. Your ego will fear her, but no other goddess sees your spiritual potential quite like Kali Ma. Oh, isn't that interesting? And I was talking about how our inner child sees the potential in others. So it's like turning that inner eye back to ourselves and seeing our own potential with the eyes of a child, right? You may be facing a cycle of intense life shifts, but remember, you'll never be given anything you can't handle. Even though life may feel unraveled right now, Kali always has your back. Stare fearlessly into the void. The time has come to be nothing less than your spectacular true selves. Exactly. Additional meanings. Taking it one day at a time can help you through a personal loss or dramatic change. This situation is a blessing in disguise. The invocation is out of chaos comes divine order. My spirit roars with truth. Yeah, and it's like, look at, I love this because she's sticking out her tongue, right? And look, then we have a Mataratsu with no more hiding, right? You can't hide anymore from yourself, but she's sticking out her tongue. It's like she's mocking the ego. Like, go ahead, see who's stronger, the ego or me. And she's going to win every time because she knows how to walk you through that divine spiritual transformation. Wow, so I pick up the deck and the Mermaid of Lemuria is here with joy. I do feel like this is going to be a happy change, something that you're going to really enjoy, even if it is frightening, even if it is scary, but it is something that you're going to enjoy. Yeah, chakra healing, expand your consciousness. Yeah, so there's a lot of healing that's coming here, a lot of alignment that's coming, and this is, again, a spiritual awakening of epic proportions. Many of you might be like, I've already gone through a spiritual awakening, but the truth is that spiritual awakening is an ongoing process. Like, we'll go through some that are not so intense, and we'll go through others throughout our lives that are incredibly intense. And so this is what I've been feeling with the collective, and even in my own life right now, so you're not alone, right? But I feel like for sure, it's the collective energy has been so powerful and so overwhelming, and I feel that shift, and also feel this like hanging on the precipice of the old self versus the new self, and the new self is crying out to be heard, to be seen, to be allowed to come forward. And I feel like that's such a powerful image right now, because it's, who do you want to be? Do you want to go back to being your old self, or do you want to embrace the discomfort of letting your true self show forward? And so that's what's happening right now. Your true self wants to be seen, and they are definitely making a lot of noise and racket. Like, you're seeing them banging on pots and pans right now. It's like to get your attention, and Kali Ma is helping them to have a strong voice in your, I'm hearing unfolding, like in your unfolding right now. And so very powerful time. Whoa, absolutely intense energy coming through. So intense. Started off with my little song and just continued through the opening here. So very, very powerful. I don't have any dice for you to choose from today. I feel like I just don't feel like really called to using them for an option for you to choose from right now, because I just don't, I guess. So we're just going to go with it. Let me make sure we're in frame. All right. So for pile 1, we do have this root chakra red jasper with the seed sound lam. If you guys remember my song from the opening with lam on it. Pile number 2, we do have this heart chakra jade gemstone with the seed sound yam on it. And if I got them backwards, I just did. So cool, whatever. And then we have the crown chakra with the seed sound Om, O-M, and this is an amethyst. Okay, so we've got pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And with that, whichever one you feel called to, that should be the one for you, and I will meet you there. Welcome back, my fellow humans. And if you're new here, thanks for joining us. I'm so excited I get to share this human experience with you. And the channel message is, whoa, I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Move it slow motion for me. So this song is coming in so strong before I even started your reading. But if you're here because you chose the red jasper with the seed sound lam, and if you didn't catch my little song, I started the whole thing with the song because, yeah, that's just how it went. Or maybe you were drawn to this card. Let's get into it. If the messages resonate, hit me up with a thumbs up down below, subscribe, or at the end, I'll give you an emoji that you can use to claim the reading along with an affirmation. You can also put that down below. It helps to support the channel for these free readings that you get, and yeah, I just really appreciate your time and your energy. So let's get to it. A change gonna come, pile 1. A change gonna come. Source has a plan, and it has to do with slow motion for you. Source has a plan. A change gonna come. So I really feel like most of you, even though you were drawn to the root chakra gemstone here, the red jasper, I feel like many of you have been healing your sacral chakra. Like, this has been a lot for you, learning how to truly feel emotions again, feel excitement again. There's like this numbness that's coming through here with me, and it's almost as if I keep hearing deadpan. You know, like when people have deadpan eyes? Not always is that because they're narcissistic. Sometimes it's literally because we've numbed out all of life, right? We can't feel emotionally anymore because we've been shut down so many times, or we can't speak our truth any longer because we've been denied, right? Access denied, access denied. And at some point, along the journey, that happens so much that we literally just begin to crumple in on ourselves. You know, it's like a piece of paper we're crumpling up. Every time an emotion comes up, we take that piece of paper and crumple it more. And so now you're trying to smooth that out, right? To make it flat again, make it take up space. And letting your emotions take up space has been a rather scary ride. But not only has it been this scary ride, I do also feel like you've experienced some things that have been super worthwhile. And the change here is being seen for this emotional shift, like having faith that your emotions mean something, but also having faith that you're allowed to feel what you feel. And also just being in this place of recognizing that not only are your emotions your blueprint for your journey, but no matter what you experience here in this 3D realm, that you're allowed to be heard and understand. And if the people around you aren't hearing you or understanding you or cutting you off or trying to make it seem like you don't matter, then you have a right to move on and to seek others, or to find support groups, or to find people who are just, you know, even like therapists and something like that. Sometimes that's the easiest way for us to start getting in touch with ourselves, is to find someone who's just unbiased to our situation. And so I feel like that's something in the change here, is actually being able to connect with people on a very real level, a very unique level. So let's see what the dice say. Yeah, the 6th house, it's so interesting. I should have mentioned it because I kept getting the 6th house energy for you, but here it is. It wants to be seen, so that's all right. We're just going to keep going with it, but I was getting it earlier. 6th house energy, Gemini and Saturn, yeah. I feel like your mental health is the main focus, but emotional health as well. You know, 6th house does have to do with our overall well-being. It can talk about our day-to-day routines. It can talk about our coworkers. It can talk about small animals, how we show up for small animals, and our pets, how our pets show up for us. You could have Gemini in the 6th house. You could have Saturn and Gemini in the 6th house, or you could have Saturn in the 6th house in another placement, okay? And if none of those resonate, then that's okay. That's just something that's coming up right away. Also, you could have Gemini Chiron in the 6th house with Saturn. I'm hearing Saturn and Cancer. Like, I keep hearing Saturn and Cancer coming through, so take that with what you will, okay? So what we see here, though, is this struggle, right? This struggle to let yourself take care of your health throughout your lifetime, right? You've adapted to the times that you've been shut out. You've adapted to the times that people have made it seem like you don't matter. You've adapted, and you're somebody, I feel like you are, again, that deadpan energy. It's like when you would smile, you either had the biggest smile in the whole room, or your smile never quite reached your eyes. So you were either really good at putting on the mask of smiling and making sure that it reached your eyes so that nobody asked if there was anything wrong with you, or most of you were just like really good at acting that part. Like, I'm just gonna act like everything's okay. And it's been stifling. It's been stifling and completely overrated, right? Being everybody's hero and having nobody be your hero. Saving everyone but never being saved yourself, right? And I feel like it's just been this horror show of dealing with everybody else's burdens, while at the same time being crushed under the weight of your own burdens. And then having this, I heard a glitch. It's like a glitch. Like, why do I feel like I need to focus on my burdens when everybody's making it seem like I shouldn't have burdens? Like, I shouldn't be depressed. I have nothing to be depressed about. I shouldn't have anxiety, because what's there in life to be anxious about, right? These excuses that people come up with to minimize or invalidate what it is that you're going through, because they themselves don't want to put the shoe on the other foot, but they sure as heck expect you to put on their high heels or their penny loafers or their nice work shoes and walk in their shoes and understand where they're coming from. And so there's this switch. I'm seeing something switch, like a switch getting flipped really quick. I also heard a snap, a real loud snap. Like, it was really loud in my ear. And it's there's something here. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what they're showing me. And you're done. You've reached a pivotal point where you're just, I can't carry your emotions anymore. I can't carry your BS. I can't carry your stupid stories anymore. I can't carry your ridiculous, oh my God, my life is blowing up, when all it is you stubbing your toe on the bed in the morning, and I'm literally having a crisis where I'm financial crisis. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have no idea how I'm going to put food on the table this week, but somehow I make it work and nobody asks me if I'm okay, and yet you're making the whole world stop on a dime because you stubbed your toe and the pain's been gone for hours, but you couldn't believe you got out of bed and stubbed your toe. Please. Right? And that's what it feels like. That's the, again, and it doesn't have to be stubbing your toe, but you get the meaning of, is their issues, or, ooh, okay, their issues are somebody else's issues, right? Like, oh my gosh, you know what happened to so-and-so at work today? Oh my gosh, let me tell you, they have the worst thing going on in their lives, blah, 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 blah. And they can tell you every little detail about those people, but they know nothing about you. And you've given them everything. And you've reached a breaking point. And that breaking point means that you are no longer going to be available to them. And I feel like this is that adaptability coming back in, but it's working now in your favor. And that's what this feels like. Because you've been doing so much, this does feel like mental health to me. And I felt that at the beginning. Okay, so this is like taking care of your mental health, taking care of your physical health, taking care of your emotional health, your spiritual health, all of these. So A, B, C, or D, or, you know, I guess, is that all of them? Yeah, and E, all of the above, right? So this is you truly choosing yourself, and then also experiencing this point where you're just like, I'm done. I can't listen to this anymore. Wow, it's hiccup. And you're saying that. You're saying that to them. I can't. I need a drink. And I feel like the hiccup is symbolism for also too, like, you might hit some hiccups where you struggle saying it, but also just knowing, like, practice makes better. We're not aiming for perfect, but practice does make better. All right. I have my dreadlocks down and they're on the table, and I think that they're like sliding into the camera, but I actually think the block is blocking them. So if you guys see my dreadlocks at the bottom of the camera here, like, that's why I just have them down today, because it hurts. They're long, and sometimes it hurts my head to put them up. So I feel like that's symbolic too, right? Maybe you're dealing with a lot of headache, either migraines or acute headaches, like behind the eyes, like where your eyes kind of like starburst with the colors. Not necessarily migraine, but a lot of pressure behind the eyes, or like suddenly like you can't have your eyes open, but as soon as you close them, like it's like okay. But if you have your eyes open, there's a lot of strain, a lot of stress, a lot of pain with your eyes open until you can calm down emotionally. And when you're able to calm down emotionally, then you're able to come back and be okay. Wow, that's a really specific message, it feels like. But many of you could be dealing with migraines, and that's part of what you're dealing with migraines, is because of carrying all these other people's burdens, or feeling like you don't have a right to say something when in reality you do, right? A change gonna come. Source has a plan. Yeah, there's gonna be new options headed your way. And not just options, but like really seeing for yourself that there's two clear paths, right? There's two clear paths. It's not that either one is right or wrong for you. It's just you're going to see what they both offer for you, and you're going to choose accordingly. You're going to choose what's going to get you. So this is weird, right? Like, because it's not necessarily the best results. It's you're going to choose what's in alignment. So it might seem like it takes slower to get there, right? Slow motion for me. Yeah, that song coming back around, right? So it might be the slower option, but it's going to be the much more foundational option. And so there's options that are coming to you, And that's partially because you're allowing yourself to feel. You're also setting up boundaries with a specific situation, an individual or a company or a boss or whatever. There's a boundary that's being made here. And now there's new options that are coming. Let's see, a change gonna come. Yeah. See, this is a thing. I feel like, before we even look at the bottom of the deck, like, I feel like this is just showing with the hangman at the center of your reading. This has been such an issue for you along the journey, is not feeling like you deserve better than what you have. And it could just be because time after time, like, you're healing from this wound, right? And it does feel like it is sacral chakra oriented, right? It does feel like it's connected to that epicenter of our right to feel. This is my right to feel. And through that healing of that, you're recognizing that you've dealt with a lot of people who didn't care, a lot of people that brushed you aside, a lot of people that made it seem like you are only there to serve their purpose, that you didn't have any other purpose besides being there to support them. And that misguided reasoning was seeing the world through very small lenses and a very small mind frame. And as you've expanded your mind frame, and you've recognized that no matter what role these individuals play in your life, that it's not so massive that they or the situation has a right to undermine or invalidate you. And with that confirmation that you receive, you start to let go. It's not going to be an immediate let go, but it is going to be gradual. And every time you let go a little bit more, another opportunity is coming. You let go a little more, another opportunity is coming. And they might be the same, similar type of opportunities, or it might be varying all over the board for you for different things. Okay, so like financial opportunities, this could be job offers, this could be friends, connections, love. It could be blessings. It could be an opportunity to win something, right? So it could be anything. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I love that the Knight of Swords came out in your reading, because this is exactly what I was feeling. Like, you're the hero, but nobody's your hero. And the Knight of Swords, one of the definitions of it is be your own darn hero, right? Like, that's the thing. It's be your own hero. You have to save yourself. You have to choose yourself in this situation, because if you don't choose you, no one else is going to come in and be like, I choose you, pile one. I'm going to save you from yourself. That's not what it is. And so the change here is a massive spiritual change where you say, you know what? If people are going to act all crazy with you, you're like, right? Get out of here. I don't want to put up with that anymore. Go on with this. I don't have to deal with your crap anymore, because it does not matter. And they might be like, oh, how dare you tell me it doesn't matter, pile on you. Like, because it doesn't. Because I'm sick of carrying it. Because you've never not once asked about me. Why should I give two hoots and a holler about your crap when you don't even give one holler, one hoot, or a toe in about mine? So go on with yourself, because I'm done. And that's exactly what you're doing. And again, it's just a change in perspective. You're realizing it's okay for me to protect myself, even if this person tries to make me feel guilty, even if this situation tries to ride me, even if the situation is trying to make me feel bad about me choosing me. You're picking the option. And I do feel like through that, you're also receiving someone who's going to help support you through this uncomfortable time. So an ally of sorts is coming in that's going to help lift you up through this difficult time. Now, they may be present, they may be long distance, but it is going to be someone who's there with you through thick and thin, through the hard time, right? Like, you're going to be able to share your stories with them. They're going to share stories with you. You guys are going to be there for each other, and they're going to help you through this hard time. They're going to help you realize, like, you do deserve good people in your life. You do deserve good things in your life. And I feel like that's going to be enough for you to realize that you don't have to put up with this chaos anymore. I kept seeing this in my mind's eye for some reason when I saw the Hangman in reverse. I kept seeing the Jupiter card, and here it came out. I kept seeing the grow and expand card. This is an awareness that's coming to you. Something where you were blocked before, and I'm going to go back to that. I think I said it in the collective message. Like with our inner child, it falls in love with potential, right? Like our inner child falls in love with potential, not what's actually in front of us, right? Not what's actually happening or what's actually unfolding in front of us. And so our inner child is almost obsessed with the potential that people have in our lives. And that's the thing. And so that's why it can be so detrimental. And it's not, please, we're not here to blame the inner child. We've already done that enough, and that has not worked for us at all. But when we think about it, it's like our inner child had so much hope because our inner child could see the potential of the people in our lives, could see that they could grow into being this loving, amazing, wonderful person for us, that they could grow into being exactly who we've always asked or needed them to be for us. And that potential will always be there. But the truth is that we are the ones that were taking that burden on ourselves. And we were the ones that were listening like, oh, if I change, then I'll help them step into their potential. But it never works that way. When you change, you take on such a burden from them. You relieve them of their path, in other words. And you're the one that's transmuting energy that's not even yours to transmute. And again, it's not something to blame yourself for. It's not something to be harsh about. It's just recognizing that you don't have to carry this burden anymore. It's a huge anchor that you can just let go. Drop it in the bottom of the ocean. Let them fish it out. Because you don't need to have that anymore. It's been dragging you down for so long. And if they're like, well, why couldn't you have at least handed it to me? And been like, well, if you'd had asked for it back, I'd have happily handed it to you. But if I sat here and held my breath, I'd have turned blue because you're never going to ask for it back. So I'm just dropping it. And you know what? Yeah, emotions are deep and it's going to fall a long way. And good luck fishing it out because I was carrying the brunt of that. But I'm done. I'm done. And that's why it feels so massive. So you might really resonate with the collective message that I did at the beginning as well. And you'll find that timestamp below if you'd like to look into that. Never an obligation though. It's only if you feel called to it. But I feel like that's the massive change that's definitely coming here. It's like Source is helping you to choose yourself, to be your own hero. Yeah, look. House 1, how telling. Yeah, this is your individuality, your self-image, your approach to life. Taking care of yourself, right? This is all about self, taking care of your emotions, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your spiritual health, like everything that has to do with your health and well-being. That's what is falling in under here with House 1 and the 6th house coming out together. And that's where the expansion is happening. Okay, and I feel like this one wants to be seen. The Moon, yeah, satisfied emotional needs, nurture self and others. Like, you're coming into a period where you're not necessarily nurturing others as much as you're nurturing yourself. And I feel like there's going to be a bit of a reprieve here for you as well because of that. You're going to be putting down some really, really heavy hitting illusions that you've been holding on to for a long time, you know. Oh, it's my responsibility. Look, here's the thing. I'm reading this webcomic. It's called Illusionist Hunter. And it's on Manhwa if you read that or not. But anyways, you can check it out. And there's this guy. He's what they call the people's hero, right? He's a hunter. He's an S-rank hunter, and he's been awakened. And then there's Jim Jiro, who's actually an alien from another planet who reincarnated in this guy's body, who's an F-rank, which is like the lowest of the low hunter, right? But he's been around magic his whole life, and so he understands a lot about magic, and he ends up like getting away from situations literally by the hair of his chinny chin chin, okay? But anyways, he ends up talking to this guy who's the people's hero, and there's a lot of things that happen between him and the people's hero. But one of the things is that Jim's house gets destroyed by a dungeon break where all these monsters come out, and his house gets destroyed. And he's trying to evacuate because he's like, holy crap, like I can't fight these animals, and literally don't even register, right? Kind of like solo leveling how low he was on the registry. Like he was the lowest hunter, the weakest hunter, they said. That's kind of the same with Jim. And he's in this energy where he's like, I gotta get the heck out of here. And he ends up running into the people's hero, and he is watching him fight, and he's recognizing that he's exhausted, and Jim has to save him from a monster who almost blows him up. And he's like, oh my gosh, if you get hit by that, like even you are gonna take a huge hit. And he ends up saving him from this monster, and by running away, right, by running away. But long story short, he puts him to sleep, and the people's hero cannot believe that Jim put him to sleep. He's like, how the heck did you put me to sleep? Like, I don't understand how this happened. I'm an S rank hunter, and we think that you're hiding your rank. Like, there's no way that you're actually an F rank hunter. Like, there's got to be a reason that you're hiding your rank and whatever. And Jim is like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Like, this guy is gonna kill me. So he goes to apologize to him. And when he apologizes to him, he bows. And at that moment, the people's hero just like slashes his sword at him and goes right over the top of him. And everybody's like, oh, how did he dodge that? And so they even more are suspicious of him. Like, right? They're, oh my gosh, Jim. So finally, Jim, he's like getting berated by the people's hero. And Jim just is like, look, I could beat you up with my pinky finger. He's like, if everybody thinks that I'm hiding my rank, I'm going to use that to my ability, which he's not. Okay, he's not. He literally is a weak hero. And he's like, you need to quit it. And so he starts in on the people's hero, and he's like, you hadn't slept in days, and yet you're sitting here thinking that it's all up to you to take care of all of Korea. And he's like, if you dig a grave in the ground because you're trying to save everybody, what's going to happen? And he's like, if you stop trying to save them, do you really think everybody's going to be mad at you? He's like, there's always going to be new dungeons. There's always going to be this. And I've been watching you for the last year, and you've closed more dungeons than anyone else, which means that you're literally running from start to finish, day in and day out, never taking a break, never taking time off. He's like, what do you think's going to happen to Korea if the people's hero takes one day off? And the people's hero got so mad at what he said to him, and he walked away, and he's like, this isn't over. And he leaves, but then they show him, and he's wandering, and he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, without even realizing it, he's like, he told me everything that I needed to hear. That I don't need to carry the weight of Korea's safety on my shoulders. He's like, because the more I kept saving the people, the more that I kept doing the dungeon breaks, the more that I kept doing this, like everybody expected more and more of me, and they kept living like they were going to be safer because I was here. And he's like, but I'm the one that was suffering because of that. And he's like, oh my gosh, Jim actually did that because he cared about me, right? And so sometimes we just need one person to say, hey, it's not up to you to carry this huge burden. Like, slow down, you know, give it back. What's one day taking off gonna take for you? What's it gonna change for you, right? And so I feel like that's exactly where you're at, where it's either your higher self is coming in, or it's source that gives you confirmation, or this has been an intuitive download, or there's something again that's shifting internally where you're just like, I can't carry this burden anymore. I can't. And you just need someone to say, it's okay. It was never yours to carry in the first place. And so I'm going to tell you that right now. It's okay. It was never yours to carry, pile one. It's okay to put it down. It's all right. And I know that that's easier said than done. I can appreciate that so much. But sometimes we just need someone to tell us that. And that's what I'm telling you now. Look at this. We have Gemini, our full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. Yeah. So what you need is coming to you now. Luck is on your side with new moon in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius and Gemini are opposites on the zodiac wheel. So I feel like that's really intriguing that they would come out together. And we even have a full moon and a new moon, right? So the opposites of the moons coming out as well. And I feel like that's just saying it's like there's going to be like a 180 turn here. Like a totally opposite or a new version of yourself is going to step forward. But it's not actually new. It's the uncovered version of yourself. The unsacrificed version of yourself. Whoa, let's not burn the cards. Holy crap. Set the cards on fire. Let's not do that. Okay, well, we didn't burn it, but dang. Okay, yeah, look, news, right? The answers you need are coming. Raven with news. Yeah, so source is going to speak something to you. You're going to receive some sort of message. It's going to help you change. Number 23, which is 5, an uncomfortable place of change. But this is all about your spiritual growth, right? And letting go of the belief that you need to suffer in order to grow. It's not that suffering is going to be completely eradicated from your life, right? We're all human. We're going to experience that regardless. It's just realizing that you don't have to suffer through everybody else's hurt and pain in order to become your own aligned self. And I feel like that's going to be a really freeing situation for you. Yeah, and you're going to be empowered here. Look, again, with the full moon, we had the moon underneath the first house coming through. So power and deer. You're going to be really empowered coming up. And again, it's all about your emotions, right? The moon connected not only to our intuition, but our ability to feel, to emote the world, if you will, right? To have our emotions in the world. Number 11 here, very spiritual power, a spiritual number of growth and expansion, right? So incredibly huge energy walking through the gateway. Whoa, yeah. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you. We've got personal power coming out here. Strength and determination. You ain't gonna keep me down. Not today. Right? That's what it feels like. Strength and determination. And 7, right? 34 is 7. 7's also an incredibly spiritual number if you change what it is that you're doing. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. Right? You're changing what it is that you're doing. You're choosing yourself over the situation, and that's going to be really powerful for you. Because this is a thing, and again, right, we have 2332, so that might mean something to you. You could have been born on May 5th. You could have been born on February 3rd or March 2nd. You could be dealing with someone that was born on February 3rd or on March 2nd, and you were born on the opposite. So that's something. You could be 23, you could be 32. Again, but I do feel like if you look up 2332, that'll give you some additional meanings here. We have imprisonment with persecution and judgment. That's what we've been feeling, like this imprisonment, like you've been persecuted for having your own emotions, for having your own feelings, for having your own thoughts and observations of the world. And now you're breaking out of prison from this. And it is a mental prison that you may have created because of situations that have happened around you. So you're the only one that holds the key, right? Freedom. Freedom. Cause I'm free falling. I possess the power and the free will to create my happiness. Exactly. This is like you choosing yourself, right? What is that other song? Freedom! Freedom! I think that's how it goes. I don't know. Blame. Yeah, accept responsibility for my well-being, right? I do feel like before, maybe you were in a state of blame for this person or this situation. And please, I'm not sitting here like, how could you? Source isn't sitting here saying like, how could you? Blame is a natural response, or a natural reaction, I should say, to when someone is ostracizing us, judging us, pushing us out, belittling us. Like, that's a natural reaction. We're going to blame someone like, well, if you didn't make me feel this way, then I wouldn't have any reason to blame you, right? And so sometimes it's just about stepping out of that blame and just taking full accountability for ourselves, full responsibility for ourselves. You know, I heard this interesting statement today where it's like taking accountability is an in-the-moment thing. And I didn't realize that this is something that I'd practiced for a long time, but taking accountability for myself is realizing, you know, like when a trigger comes up, I take accountability by realizing like, A, you know, wherever this trigger came from. So let's say it was a childhood wound. It's like, wow, my parents really did me in. Like they really, really messed up my life. Like they just didn't know how to love me. They didn't know how to give to me. They didn't know how to care for me. But I'm also choosing to take responsibility for myself now and let this go so that I can show up for myself in the way that I need, right? So yes, it's saying wow, they really messed up, but it's not staying in that blame for forever. It's just saying like, okay, I acknowledge that and I move on. Sometimes we have to give that to ourselves, right? But if we stay there, it becomes a really heavy, overwhelming energy and we can't move on, and it creates repeat cycles, repeat patterns in our lives. And that's when we're turning into someone who's projecting. All right. Bottom of the deck, go all in, baby. Pluto. Transformation. Yes. So there's a huge rebirth here for you. And empowerment too, like taking back your power, changing something that was karmic, letting go, facing your fears, right? These are all things that are coming together for you. Okay, I feel like this one and that one and that one, and then we'll let it be. Heroism. Be your own hero. Heroism lies in the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. Fear nothing and embrace destiny. So now it's like not fearing the cost of letting go, maybe of a person or a situation, a lifestyle, a house, a car, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you're saving yourself from, like no longer fearing the outcome of this. Like if I walk away from somebody, what's that going to mean? And I feel like you're realizing like it doesn't matter because they choose to walk away from me all the time and they don't think twice about me. So it sounds cruel and vicious at times, but why should we think that way about someone else when they never consider that about us, right? That's just a waste of our energy. We have precarious. Oh my goodness, they're mowing the lawn right here. Hold on, let me shut the window. Let me shut the window. It's going to get loud. Precarious. It says there have been a lot of ups and downs with your finances, money coming in fast and going out just as quickly. Fast changes regarding money or unexpected turn of finances. Okay, so this feels like taking cautions moving forward, right? Don't spend frivolously over the next few months. Yes, I'm saying months, right? And I know that feels hard sometimes, but this is also just protecting yourself. Put back money in savings. Check out The Richest Man in Babylon. You can find it on YouTube. Listen to it. It's worth a listen. But also invest some money if you can, right? This is like setting up a nest egg for yourself, okay? And I feel like it's just reminding you, because whatever comes next, you're going to need that, all right? Bottom of the deck, work smart. Are you making it harder than it has to be? Sometimes the solutions are simple. Perhaps it's time to clean house personally and professionally and start with a clean palette. Stick to basic needs when it comes to spending and putting some money aside. Exactly. So right now, just focus on the basics, okay? I know it's fun to overspend. I know it's fun to do this. I'm guilty of that too. I've done that too. You know, I'm also in the place right now where it's like everything that I earn, I put back no matter what as soon as money goes into my account. This is just a tip, and it's something I learned from The Richest Man in Babylon. It's as soon as I get money into my account, before I even pay any bills, I take out 30% for myself. And I put that away for savings just in case, because you never know, right? And I know that sounds so scary, and I've had so many people, like I've told so many people this, and I've actually told my nephew, one of my nephews this, and he follows this, like he does this for himself, and he just recently took himself on his own little vacation for the first time, and I was so proud of him. Oh, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him for doing this and just being real about his own finances, right? Instead of letting his money control him. But we're often in this place of letting our money control us, and I'm guilty of this in my past, and I'm learning how to manage my money better as I grow spiritually, and that's been over the last 8 years has been an eye-opener for me. But I checked out The Richest Man in Babylon, and he talked about saving 30% for yourself as soon as the money comes in, because if you wait until after you pay your bills, like you're gonna overspend your money, and it's gonna be on other things other than just your bills, right? And if you can't save 30% of your bills, it means that you're living outside of your means. And so you can always just take a look at that. Again, it's just some recommendations, but when the precarious and with the work smart, it's just reminding that right now it's about protecting yourself, leaving a nest egg for yourself, right? And taking that step for yourself. Creus, reconnect with yourself. Protecting yourself, saving yourself, taking care of yourself, right? Yes. reflection, right? What does my reflection show? Who I am inside. I think that's how that song goes. It's been a while since I've seen Mulan. But yeah, that's that. What does your reflection show? Who are you inside? Right? And I feel like you don't recognize yourself right now because you've been dealing with these situations. And soon you're going to be remembering who you are. Not the person you were trying to hide, but you're going to how do you want to say this, Source? Not the masks you were wearing, but the person who's been trying to be seen this whole time. The mirror shows not the whole, but a fraction. The true self lies beneath the surface. Dig deeper to discover your hidden self. Yeah, so synchronistic with this reading. Vacation. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about my nephew taking his vacation. It says a pause in routine can unveil paths to prosperity and hidden pitfalls. Watch the signs, pause, perceive, proceed. So maybe you do need to take a vacation, not necessarily going out somewhere, but maybe like more like a staycation and just kind of let things unfold with you not around, right? Like check out from everybody, take care of yourself, focus on self-love, take a long bath, get your favorite dinner, these things. Not overspend on yourself, but also put enough aside for yourself so that you feel good, okay? And glittering debut, you will soon be the center stage, capture the crowd's heart, engage passionately, and avoid passivity. Yeah, so put yourself out there. Be seen. Don't be afraid to be seen. What a powerful reading, pile one. Let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book, and we're going to see what it has to say. Yeah, sexual wisdom. Now, to be fair, I did see this when it flipped over. I did know what it was, but it's like this energy is really strong coming in. Sexual wisdom can connect with our sacral chakra, but I do feel like the thing is that the sacral chakra has been very present with this. I mean, we've got the moon coming out. We've got this let yourself be empowered. We've got this saving yourself from a situation, speaking clearly about something, even if it is difficult. And these are all things that can come from the sacral chakra when it's in an empowered place, because you realize you have a right to take up space for how you feel, right? And I feel like this is something that's going to be a fierce change for you. Fierce in the way of no longer letting people get away with things. Kadesh. Kadesh, where are you at? All right, embrace intimacy and celebrate your sexuality. It says Kadesh is an ancient Egyptian goddess of sacred ecstasy. Her origins are in the Canaanite religions of ancient Levant. In the Middle East, her name was Kadshu, which means Holy One. It is said that in Levant, the cult of Kadesh involves recreating the rite of sacred marriage. Priestesses called Kadesha, holy or pure ones, may have been sacred prostitutes, women who offer sex as sacrament or sacred feminine healing act. In Egypt, she rode naked on the back of a lion, holding a snake and a lotus flower and a papyrus plant. Kadesh possessed great knowledge of sexuality and expression of the divine. So maybe you're healing from a really rough partnership that you had to go through and realizing that you do have a right to be seen and be heard. It says this card signifies a time of sexual healing. Just one. Sexual healing. What is that? A Robin Gay. What is that? A Robin Gay. Is that his name? Anyways, yeah, I think that's that sexual healing song is coming through. If you guys know and I'm messing it up, just comment down below who it is. I can't remember them all, but I do my best to try. And so, yeah. It says new experiences of intimacy. Kadesh can activate your intuitive wisdom about sex as a sacred, nourishing force. She says the easiest way to access your sexual spiritual knowledge is to tune into your body, be still, and become aware of your breath. If you can, place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly, or simply focus on the sensations in your body. Imagine your sexual energy as a spark of light flowing through you, which makes sense as to why you also picked the root chakra, because the root chakra is the gateway, right? Like it's the gateway to our sacral. And regardless if you're a man or woman, we all have that, the energetic womb within us. And so that gateway is being healed along with the womb itself, okay? And let's see. Imagine your sexual energy is a spark of light flowing through you, and ask yourself, what does my sexual wisdom want me to know? Listen to the first feeling or impression that arises. If nothing comes, don't worry. You're tuning into your higher sexual consciousness, whether you know it or not. These insights may come hours, days, or weeks later. Maybe you want to be more sexually expressive and creative, or do you need permission to experiment with being polyamorous or celibate, for example? It could be that sexual blocks or trauma are coming up for healing. I'll lead you to the right support. Offer up all your desires and wishes about the sacred erotic to me, and let me bring you all the sensual pleasure you deserve. It says explore sacred ecstasy rituals, how sex connects to the divine. Work with a sex therapist or relationship counselor. Communicate your sexual needs to your partners. And it says, my sexuality is natural and I'm worthy of ecstatic pleasure. And don't be nervous or shy or embarrassed on what you like sexually in the bedroom either, because I feel like that's something, you know, and it came up not that long ago in another reading as well. But I feel like sometimes, you know, we think that it's weird that we like certain things, but it's not weird. It's just that someone made us feel like it was weird, or because someone has pushed us aside, right? And it's like, oh, well, that you can't do that, or that doesn't work for me. But also realizing, like, if someone's telling us that and that's something that we truly need to feel sexually fulfilled, then maybe these people that we're saying and we're allowing to say that isn't for them, they're just not right for us, and we have to be okay with that, right? And that's not always going to be true. It's, you know, some people are willing to compromise or find some meat in there that'll work. But if they're absolutely adamant that you cannot be expressive in your sexuality, you cannot be expressive as yourself, you can't be who you are, then that is a good telltale sign that these are not people who are ever going to grow with you, and it's okay to let go of their potential, because they're not going to meet their potential until you choose yourself. And even then, they might not choose their potential. And at that point, you've chosen yourself. And so there's no need to look back, right? Sometimes we just got to ride off into the sunset and trust that it's going to hold us and care for us when we made it. Okay? So this is what I have for you. You're becoming a very empowered version of yourself. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little lion emoji down below and say, I allow myself to be expressive and true to who I am, knowing that it is this very energy that helps me connect with other people who I connect with and vibe with and can trust along the journey. And if it resonated, it would mean so much if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. With that, I would like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Welcome back, my fellow humans. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. I am so honored to be sharing this human experience with you. And pile 2, I have a couple of channeled messages for you. So if you were drawn to this jade gemstone for the heart chakra with the seed sound yam on it, or if you were drawn to this card, this is a change is gonna come. So there were songs that came through, and it's so funny because Marvin Gaye came out, and I said Robin Gaye in pile 1, and I was like, that's not right. I don't think that's right. And so it was Marvin Gaye's song that came out. But this is interesting because the song is, it's not by Marvin Gaye, but it mentions Marvin Gaye. So it's by, I believe, the Shinedown. It's like, everybody wants to sing this song. So Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Ain't nothing normal when it comes to you and me. I'd rather trust myself and not so much you give up on your dreams. If you were ever in doubt, don't sell yourself short. You might be bulletproof, hard to move mountains when you're paralyzed, but you gotta try. And I'm calling out, get up, get up, get a move on. Get up, what's taking so long? Get out, get a move on. Stop stalling, I'm calling out. Get out, get out, get a move on. Get up, ain't nothing wrong. 'Cause I believe you can be whatever. And I agree you can do much better. Trust me. So that one was coming through, and then the other one is, I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. And that was the part that came out. And so, but I feel like that's a thing, like, ain't nothing normal when it comes to you and me is definitely something that came out in the collective message. So you could have caught the collective message before coming here, pile 2, but if not, then you might find additional messages for you. Also, really quickly, they're mowing, so you guys might hear the in the background. That's the lawnmower. I have no control over that. It's a hired group that comes and does it, and so it just happens to be during the reading. But I did wait to come on to you, pile 2, until he was a little bit further along, and this beautiful black butterfly just flew by the window. So that's really cool. All right. Yeah, I feel like that's a thing. It's like embracing the fact that there is no normal, right? You don't have to be normal. You don't have to try to fit in. You don't have to try to be like everyone else. You don't have to try to follow the trends. You don't have to do any of that. Just being you and letting your intuition guide you is going to be the most beneficial thing for you. And I feel like trusting in that is going to be something very powerful for you. Like, and I'm not saying that you always follow trends or anything like that, but maybe at work, like, there's, obviously you have to follow policies. But maybe it's like you've been taking other people's spiels and trying to make them your own. And it's like, that's nice, but try to make something that really feels good for you and feels authentic to you. And it doesn't have to be just at work. It could be in life in general, or, you know, like even your creativity, like you're trying to make something unique off of another idea. And of course, you know, like writers do this often, is like we get inspired by other works. But it's also finding like your own voice. Let your own voice be heard, right? And don't, like, no matter how weird it feels, or no matter how out of place it feels, that's enough, and you're enough in this moment. And so it feels like embracing that weird, goofy part of yourself. And that was a message that came through. Even my dog did something that Source had her do and was acting all goofy and wild in the message as well. And so I feel like that's really powerful for you. But I also feel like it's been really hard because there's been some sort of betrayal or deceit. And, you know, like maybe someone was really rude or really cruel and ruthless towards your authentic self. Or maybe you feel like people don't accept you when you're being you. But I feel like that's more, even if they don't, okay, like they could definitely not accept you. But I feel like regardless if they do or they don't, that's more the fear speaking louder than the spirit. And that's what Source is trying to bring through. Like, the change is going to come when you choose to let the spirit speak louder than the fear. Like, choose to let yourself be bigger than the fear itself. And even if you are feeling energetically that people don't like you, that still shouldn't be a reason not to be yourself, even though it is, right? Like, a lot of us use that as a reason not to be ourselves. I mean, guilty, right? Like, I've done that too. And so it's one of those things where you have to realize that letting go is one of the most powerful things that you can do, and not giving a gosh darn crap about what anyone else thinks of you is also the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself, because there's something about you that is healing in and of itself, whether that's laughter, whether that's tears, whether that's truth, whether that's clarity, whether that's understanding, compassion, kindness. There's this part of you that you're hiding that actually has this huge, powerful effect of change on the world, and that's what's trying to come through. And so you yourself are the change, and the change comes with you. So let's dig in a little bit more about this, because it feels like this is going to be moving you forward into the future. Change is going to come for pile number 2. Source, what would you like to share with them? A change is going to come. Yeah, third house, the sun and Taurus, how you see yourself is everything. Also how you talk about yourself and how you choose to express yourself. So, whoa, I'm almost throwing the block on the table. I know it made the camera bounce. My apologies. But I feel like with the third house here, this could be... Okay. So I'm going to go over the situations and then I'm just going to focus on the message. So just know that it could be your situation itself, but it doesn't have to be, okay? But with the third house, it can pertain to a twin flame connection or a labeled connection, okay? Moving on. This is also talking about siblings, peers, kids that you grew up with, people you grew up around. So this could be people who had a problem with the way that you communicated when you were young. This could be people who just in general have a problem with the way you communicate things or who you are in the rational way that you think about the world. Okay, and again, that doesn't make them right. And remembering that it's oftentimes the people closest to us who are the ones that will make us doubt ourselves the most. And that's something that's coming through here true for you, pile 2. But with Taurus energy here, it's like the most important thing that you can do is find love of self and let yourself magnetize the people who are meant for you instead of trying to fit in with maybe there's some part of you that people have accepted, right? So an example would be that maybe instead of sharing the tragedies that you've gone through, right, you bring them out in a humorous way, okay? Like you rely on comedy, and even though comedy it could be that comedy is not necessarily something that you enjoy. It could be. This is just an example, okay? Just like I'm trying to show how it's an inauthentic way to present yourself. And so maybe when you were young, you were trying to explain a tragedy to someone and they made fun of you because of this tragedy. And in your mind, it clicked like, oh, if I approach my tragedy with comedy, people are going to accept it, right? As a young mind, you're like, okay, I get that. So then suddenly you became a comedic when it came to sharing your tragedies and you make everybody laugh all the time. But it's turned into some sort of veil or a mask that's hiding the real you from the world when the real you just wants to be able to share something with someone and have it be accepted as it is instead of with this flourish on it or this twist or this flair, if you will. And that is something that's really been eating, it's like chipping away at your soul. It's chipping away at your identity and it's chipping away at you. And there's that switch that's happening where you're letting your light be as it is. You either accept me for the tears that I cry or you don't. Right? And I'm just going to use it as a tears because that goes in line with the example, right? It's like no one accepted you if you cried, but they accepted you if you laughed. Like that's such a box to shove somebody in because it's like basically saying like you can't cry about anything, but I can. Right? And that's the thing. So it's like if they don't accept you for the tears you have, then they don't get to laugh at you because that's what's more comfortable for them. You know what I mean? And so that's the switch here. It's like you're going to be magnetizing people who appreciate your tears, who appreciate even your jokes. Like, it's not that you're bad at that. It's just, it's like they're going to appreciate that side of you, right? They're going to appreciate that, like, oh, okay, I can understand why you use that as a defense mechanism throughout your journey. And that's something that is being shifted into the light. Even if it makes me blind, I just want to see the light. And leave it all behind. I just want to see the light. I don't know if that's exactly how it goes. It's something like that. Right? Even if it makes me blind, I just want to see the light. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, no longer are you going to be hiding behind that mask. And not that, again, like the ego is a part of who we are. And I feel like it's such a mistake to say we want to get rid of the ego. We don't want to get rid of the ego, but we do want to rein the ego in. Like we want to rein it in so that it starts working in tandem with our spirit. And that's just a part of our journey. And it's uncomfortable and it feels difficult, but it's necessary. Because otherwise the ego runs our lives, and we don't want it to run our lives. And that's part of it. And that's why the masks are there, right? The ego says, oh no, we got hurt when we cried about this situation before and showed our tears to someone. But it seems like everybody's accepted us when we made everybody laugh about it instead, right? So change is going to come. Pile number 2. There's a huge betrayal here. It's almost like you shared something with someone and they used it against you. It could have been a masculine, or it could have been about a love relationship or something. They like backed you into a corner about it. That's a really specific message coming through. A change is going to come. Interesting. It wants to come out in the reverse, so I'm going to take it in the reverse. Bottom of the deck. This is wild. So this came out on the bottom of the deck in pile 1 too, but in the upright. The Hangman came out in the reverse in pile 1 as well. So you could be here from pile 1. But this is a very different energy, okay? There's somebody here who's really conceited in your energy. And that conceit made you feel like I have to hide. Because this was vicious, this was cruel, this was cold, it was cutting, it was overwhelming, it was overbearing. And your whole life was painted through that vision of hurt and pain. And again, it's not right or wrong, it's just what happened to a difficult situation, right? This is how you chose to react to those difficult situations instead. Okay? And now it's about finding balance, emotional balance, to a situation otherwise where you are, like I keep hearing, thwarting yourself, right? Like you're thwarting yourself here with the Knight of Coins in the reverse. You have created not necessarily a self-sabotage energy. This is just basically like, oh, I'm moving forward. Nope, I'm gonna go backwards, because at least going backwards was comfortable. It's like making a conscious choice to choose what was comfortable over what's uncomfortable. This is not a subconscious choice. You're like literally making a conscious choice to choose what was comfortable, even if it was uncomfortable. It was something you were used to. Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot that you want to achieve that's been interfering with your practical plans. And you haven't been able to move forward here. So there's something new that's coming into your life, okay? And part of that's something that where you were, again, if you were choosing to go, and just say it's comedy, again, we're just trying to stay consistent here, but if it was comedy, it's like that might have been something where you're like, oh, this could be a passion of mine, right? This could be a passion of mine. But then realizing that it was instead of a passion, it was actually a defense mechanism. But then getting inspired by something new here with the 3 of Cups, something that's helping to motivate you emotionally to move forward through this difficult situation. Yeah, someone who is really greedy. Someone who could have taken advantage of you in a financial way as well, right? Or they used you as, like, this is a really interesting energy. It's like they're using you as a means to garner sympathy from people outside. Or this is someone who used your story for the benefit of themselves. Right? So an example would be like you shared your story with someone and they wrote it as their own, and then they said that you stole it from them. And it's like everybody they wanted to believe this person and not you, but now this person's starting to show their true colors because you're changing yourself, right? And you're starting to help others heal in an emotional way from a situation that's very close to what this other person was saying was theirs. And again, that's just an example, but that's what's happening here is whatever this situation is you're helping others heal from this extreme. This is someone who's extremely arrogant. and you're helping people to heal from people who are extremely arrogant in their own lives. And I feel like that's going to elicit you a new passion to let your light shine even brighter, right? And again, it doesn't have to be this. It could be anything. But I feel like if you get confirmation from someone along the way and they're like, wow, pile 2, you shared your story with me and you gave me some advice and it helped so much. And that one person saying that to you is enough for you to be like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. Like, it makes me feel good that I have this in my life. It makes me feel like I can do whatever, right? And so you go towards that with confidence, and then you let go of comedy, right? Or if this is like a psychic gift that you have, it could be that like you're tapping into your psychic gifts and you decide, oh, you know, like I'm going to do a candle wax reading for you just for fun. You're like, let's just do it for fun, right? And you do it and it ends up all turning out true, and you help this person overcome something in their life that they've been struggling with for a long time, and they come to you so excited and they're like, oh my gosh, pile 2, your candle wax reading was so good and it helped me out so much and I just want to say thank you so much. And you're like, wow, I think I'm going to start doing this. So something along those lines, but it doesn't have to be those things. Okay. Well, but the example here is simple. It's just, they're showing like you're going to give your advice to someone. You're going to give your heart, like you're giving your heart away to somebody, and then they give it back to you, but they give it back to you filled with love and light. And you're like, wow, I've never had this before. And that's this new passion that helps you move forward in life. And it makes you feel fulfilled and seen and heard in a way that you've never felt before. And so whatever that defense mechanism was that was in the past slowly melts away, and it slowly fades away, and it slowly turns to dust, and you're no longer watering it. And so it's like, even if there are times when you may go back and you backslide, just knowing that that's a part of the process. Sometimes we ebb, sometimes we flow. And I feel like this is a thing where you're going to experience that along the way. I do want to get one clarifier here. Yeah, the Ace of Wands. A new creative project, a new creative inspiration. So Source being real about this, there's something here, but there's a part of you that has to fall apart with the House of God coming out on the bottom here. This really does talk about the destruction of our ego. What I was just saying, we don't want to get rid of our ego completely, but this is a destruction of a part of our ego that has ruled over us for too long and created a lot of cyclical cycles. Okay, that's redundant. Right? But have created a lot of cycles in our lives and cyclical experiences, there we go, in our lives that we've maybe not been able to get away from. And so there's something about your emotional ego that is falling away to make space for this observation of the situation and the truth that's coming through, and you're going to be healing from that as well, right? This could also be the destruction of feeling like, right, what was I saying earlier? It's like there's nothing normal when it comes to you and me. So the destruction of societal beliefs or a construct, or even this can tie into a like some sort of government or some sort of institution as well. So something that you felt like you had to follow word for word, fact for fact, idea for idea, that's falling away. And I feel like, yeah. And then we have the Pope here, yeah, and becoming more spiritual as well. So your spiritual journey is going to be manifesting in the physical, where again, you're helping people, right? This card really does show where someone's reaching out to him for wisdom. And these do look like hats. It looks like they have their hats off, right? Even here, it looks like a hat's off to them. And then someone here who's reaching down into the depths of darkness and not sure where to go, but still asking for the light, still asking for advice. So there's people who are going through some really tough times that you're going to be inspiring to overcome those tough times. Even if someone tried to steal your story. Yeah, again, with the 10 of Cups coming out again. So Source just clarifying what I was feeling. Yeah, so this is that energy that we got over here, right? The same energy. And it's just showing that you are the leader here, right? The Ten of Cups is a card of leadership, and it's emotional leadership. It's bringing others out of the darkness and into the light in an emotional way, right? Like touching their hearts, touching that part of themselves that they felt like they had hidden, connecting with them and making them feel seen and heard. But at the same time, they're making you feel seen and heard as well. And that's what this feels like. And it's some sort of new inspiration here that's going to lead you forward. And oh my gosh, what are the chances? Look at this. The Seven of Wands and the Seven. What are the chances that they would come out like that? Oh my gosh, this is so synchronistic on a different deck. I mean, so synchronistic here. So again, that's what they're saying. And this talks about perseverance. You know, here it is in the reverse, but it's just showing like whatever was a lost cause before, you're letting that go. And then here we have it. It's also in the reverse here. Okay, so again, whatever it was a lost cause, you're letting it go. With the Seven of Coins underneath that in the upright, it's choosing to go about life in a whole new way. A whole new world. A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. It's a whole new world, right? This really does talk about too, like, it just talks about not choosing what's not normal. There's nothing normal when it comes to you and me, right? That song, I mean, it's just the synchronicities here are absolutely wild. Wild. I love it. Thank you for being you, Pile 2. If no one's told you, let me say thank you for being you. So leading people out of something that has otherwise been a trap for them along the journey, right? Out of deceit, out of manipulation, out of hurt, out of betrayals, whatever it was, right? A change is going to come. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Okay. The card's almost like accordioned out. Okay. So I feel like this one wants to be seen, but you got these two as well. Yeah, the 6th house. Establish a foundation's health, daily life, and practical details. So changing the way you see your life by choosing a different routine and a foundation upon which you build your reality. Look at this. A change is going to come, and we've got Uranus on the bottom with radically change. So, and sudden progression is going to come as well. So I feel like it's going to be slow at first, but then suddenly there's going to be this massive shift where things just take off almost faster than you are even ready for. You're gonna be like, oh, I was not ready for it to go this fast. Calm down. I don't know if I'm ready to receive all of this. And Source is saying, like, you've been ready for so long. Let yourself have this opportunity, right? I feel like you're gonna look back. You're gonna like stand back and be like, oh, I don't know. This is way faster than I imagined. But up until that point, you're gonna be like, it's taking so long. It's taking so long. And then it happens. You're like, wow. Because it's like 0 to 100 all fast. That's what it feels like. Going from 0 to 100 so fast. So fast. Come here for speed. Got a lot of songs coming through for you. What is that? The Black Coat song? What is that song? Come here for speed. I don't know any of the other words. That's all I know. Says work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. Yeah, so this is you letting go of the fear, right? The fear of being yourself. That Copenhagen. Okay. Let's just say it weird, get it out. Okay, the coping mechanism, right? That's the fear. That's why it is a coping mechanism, because there's a fear that's underlying that we don't want to face just yet. And so there's something here that you're going to face. And when you face that, things are going to shift for you in a really beautiful way. And yes, maybe monetarily, it's going to shift for you, right? Like there's going to be monetary gain here, and there's going to be financial success that's coming, and you're going to have a financial foundation to build upon. But I feel like more than anything for you, pile 2, the thing is emotional foundation. I feel like having spent an entire life feeling emotionally degraded and emotionally ostracized and emotionally shoved aside, having emotional foundation is so powerful for you right now. Okay. What is happening right now? Pile 2. We have expect powerful radical change. We have radical change. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to leave these out because what? Are you kidding me? Even with the little deck, and then it says have faith in your dreams. Maybe you didn't know you wanted this, right? Maybe you didn't know that this is what you needed. But I do feel like things are going to finally balance out for you along the way. Whoa, okay. We're just going to look at it because it came flying in like nobody's business. Yeah, Peregrine Falcon with observation. So seeing things from a different perspective for sure, on top of the Hangman, which is the perspective card, right? When it's in the reverse, it's not seeing things clearly, seeing through a slanted perspective, being influenced by someone else's perspective and letting that go now, right? Like you're letting that go. You're seeing things through your third eye and what's clear for you. Yeah, Red Fox strategy, but there is going to be a need for strategy here, right? Like, yes, you can go all in, but also do it in a strategic way, right? And you'll know what to do. Like, it's gonna make sense for you, okay? Now I have the Aladdin song stuck in my head. A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no where to go, but say we're only dreaming. Wow, okay, so we've got the Explorer card that came out over here with Traveler and Wanderer. So some of you are going to be traveling the world. This is how things are going to radically change for you. Some of you are going to be given the freedom to be a wanderer, right? And I can't remember who wrote that, but not all who wander are lost. That's the part of the Wanderers Club. And I actually have a book called The Wanderers Club, which is absolutely fascinating. You can go different places, and it's kind of like what is that? Geocaching? Is that what that's called? Where you can go to little like treasure box, and they'll send you little updates to, oh, this is in the treasure box, or this is in the treasure box, and then you leave something behind in the treasure box. So there's something like that that's coming through where you're going to be given a little treasure box to explore the world, or to travel the world, or to explore in the way that you want to. Right? Like maybe you want to get a boat and travel the world. Maybe you want to get an RV and travel around your country. Maybe you want to get out of your country and go live somewhere else. Maybe you just want to travel to different places around the world, like see these big places, you know, these famous cities or these famous landmarks. But you're going to be seeing, and then again with the binoculars, I don't think that's even the right way to say that, binoculars. You're seeing with different eyes, with a fresh perspective. And then we have 22 here with parent, child, and family. And for others of you, and this could be both coming up together, right, for you, but I feel like others of you, you're changing and your family is expanding, and this is something that you've wanted. You've maybe been trying for a child and have had no luck, or maybe you've really wanted a person that you could have a family with, and that's somebody who's going to be coming in. Now, I know at the beginning I did say that this was also connected to a labeled relationship. I just quickly want to put a disclaimer in here. I am not going to be the person to say that they're dropping everything and they're coming in to save you and have a family with you. I'm not ever going to say that, okay? What I will say this is to let go of the label and allow whoever is ready to receive you in this moment to come in. Whether that's them or someone else, be open to it being someone who's ready to grow and explore with you, okay? So we do have the family card coming in. So really powerful energy here. And the number one, idyllic memories. Yeah, what is real is peace and tranquility are finding you now. Okay, and that's the thing. So regardless of if both of these are coming into your life, only one or the other is coming into your life, regardless of that, overall, peace and tranquility are finding you. You're coming into moments of zen, like just, I feel like freedom and peace are two of the main things here coming out for you, and that's going to be a huge change for you, feeling peaceful with where you're at, content, right? Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Yeah, so a lot of growth is coming in for you. empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. And I just feel like you're, again, being seen with eyes of love from other people, right? And so this is why it's so powerful for you, is because you're going to be seen through the eyes of other people with love, with empathy, with compassion and kindness. And it's going to be something that maybe you've never experienced before, but it's going to be so fulfilling and so life-changing for you. All right. Shoot for the stars. To the moon, Alice. To the moon. You know, they say shoot for the stars so you land on the moon, right? Yeah, go for it. Sagittarius energy coming in here. Grow and expand. Jupiter, the big lucky planet, right? Sagittarians, they're very lucky. They might not feel like it all the time, but they do have a lot of lucky things that come to them. And I feel like that's just really powerful. And it's just keeping your eye on the goal that you have for yourself, right? What is that? Is that peace? Is that tranquility? Is that freedom? Is that financial freedom? Is that being debt free? Is that having your own home? Is that building a family? Is that traveling the world? Like, what does your goal and your prize of life look like? And continuing to keep your eye on that, right? And let the feelings flow. And don't be afraid to show your emotions with others. That's what I was saying. Like, these are people that are coming into your life who appreciate your tears. It's almost like you've never been able to cry in front of other people before. You've never been able to share that with others before. And this is a whole new experience for you. And it's also something that vulnerability attracts people to you in a very powerful way. In a very powerful way. So you could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or have that highly aspect in your chart. You could have a lot of 4th, 8th, or 12th house placements. Okay. Okay, we'll check out on the bottom in a minute. We've got star power. When the spotlight finds you, respond with unwavering authenticity. Let your truth self shine. Chase the glow. That's the thing. You're letting go of the coping mechanism, the mask, right? And then the contours of dream. Shape your dreams with the clay of your actions. Today's effort sculpt tomorrow's achievements. Mold your destiny with each choice. Don't give up, even if it gets challenging. The more you move towards your dreams, you're going to see things unfold for you. All right, the choices we make today make a different tomorrow. And then on the bottom, poker face, because I'm a poker face. Mask emotion, master deception, control the table, win the game, stay composed, and hide your tails. This is the energy that you're actually moving away from. Okay, and I feel like they're just confirming that you've been a poker face for a long time, and that's the thing, like using comedy to hide your emotions, using comedy to hide your experiences. But it's those very things that are actually getting moved from you so that you can step into a more authentic space for yourself, and people are receiving you. Okay, we have setbacks. Taking one step forward to make 2 steps back. Setbacks are telling you that you're not ready to enter the next phase. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay, so again, letting go of those old habits, those old beliefs, those old ideas, those old actions, those old coping mechanisms, letting them go. Those are where the setbacks are coming from. It's like pulling out your hair, right? Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep going down this journey. I can't keep feeling like it's okay for me to be unseen, because it's not. You deserve to see yourself, and you deserve to be seen by others. Writer. Didn't I say, like, writers get their ideas from all over, right? And we have to make it our own. That's the thing. It's like there's something here about making it your own. Words are magic. Use them to manifest more abundance. Blogger, content writer, book writer, or any creative writing career. Your words have power to influence and share your gift with the world. So again, you're here to influence the world. That's where there's massive change. So you might want to write down what you'd like to manifest in your life, whatever it is. or if you're writing a book, this is that confirmation that that's the path you're meant to take at this time. And trust in the process and trust that things are working out for you. So we have the 4th house. So saying you could have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in your 4th house. So we have cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort coming in. So letting go of generational karmas here and codependencies is coming up as well. And entering in a period of your 10th house. Structure, discipline, life, mission, accomplishments, and career. Yeah, so you're about to enter 10th house energy. This is where you're meant to go, okay? You're meant to see a new version of yourself right now. And that new version of yourself is what's going to magnetize people to you. Predictive pages, what? With the writer, it says a passage you will soon encounter in your reading foretells a looming challenge in personal relations, books as beacons, okay? So confirmation, if you're trying to be a writer of some sort, this is that confirmation. For others of you, you're going to be given some sort of sign or synchronicity in a book that you read. It could be for entertainment, self-help, could be the news, it could be just anything. You know, I was talking earlier about reading comics in pile 1, and so, you know, it could be anything. You're going to read something and be like, oh my gosh, that makes total sense, right? So that's what that's saying. Let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what it says. Yeah, Artemis, brave spirit, Sagittarius energy here, right? Keep your eye on the goal. What do you want to manifest here? Keep that in your mind's eye. Hold it true to yourself and know that you can. If you can see it, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. That's Napoleon Hill who said that, right? And I totally recommend Think and Grow Rich. If you have not read that book, it is worth the buy, okay? I read that book at least once a year. It's something I've taken plenty of notes on. I have what are they, a trapper keeper, I guess you will. I have a trapper keeper full of notes in my cabinet about that book, because every time I read it, something else comes through, right? So definitely worth it. But that's what he says. If you can see it, if you can believe it, then you can achieve it. Okay. So it says, set out on your path. The wilderness is calling. Artemis. Diana to the Romans is the Greek goddess of the wilderness, nature, childbirth, and the moon. The temple built in her name at Ephesus was one of the 7 wonders of the world. Revered for her courage and untamed energy, Artemis is a protectress of women. She was the patron deity of an ancient female warrior race called the Amazons. Artemis and the Amazons are considered the original feminists as they lived outside the prevailing patriarchy. Artemis represents the independent, wild, feminine spirit beyond patriarchal societal control. With her band of woodland nymphs, she roamed freely, immersed in nature, unconstrained by notions of what or who she should be, right? You don't have to worry about who you need to be anymore because you're free to be you. You may be filled with self-doubt, but Artemis is here to fire up your courage. Be daring and step into uncharted territory. Watch the fears just melt away as you embrace your inner warrior. Developing self-sufficiency is a positive step for you now. Do you ever spend time alone to nourish your inner life? Artemis invites you to view solitude as essential spiritual practice, especially if you rarely have an interval between intimate relationships or are always surrounded by people. The wilderness is a term that describes both the uncultivated natural world and a state of inner oneness that has always existed within you. The wilderness can often be discovered through communion with external wilderness. Whether it's a spiritual retreat in the forest or just an hour away from regular life in the local park, meditate and ask yourself, what might my brave spirit want me to know? Let the answer arrive like one of Artemis's arrows. Let this arrow pierce and dissolve all your fears of independence, adventure, and new territories. She says to be proactive in women's rights and or initiatives that protect women from harm and injustice. Take a vision quest or a nature retreat. Engage in outdoor pursuits such as hiking, horseback riding, or wild swimming. Be more independent will benefit you now. And her invocation is, my spirit is free. I am my own authority. Yeah, so I do feel like this is a thing. There's been people around you that have been suffocating you. And, you know, again, with the third house, that's people who are close to us, right? Like that can be siblings, it can be friends, it can be people we grew up with, classmates, like that. But it's like people that we know with fourth house. This could be directly pointing towards family in our lives. It could be pointing towards, you know, children, parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, like people who are around us and then we need a break from. It's not because we don't love them, but sometimes because we just need to get away from their internal chaos so we can find our own internal peace, right? And that's what's coming through here. What a powerful message. I truly enjoyed this today, pile 2. So this is what I see for you. I'm going to leave it here. But if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little bow and arrow emoji down below and say, I lean into going towards what it is I want to manifest, knowing that it is okay for me to be seen, heard, and acknowledged in this now moment. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So let me take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Welcome back, my fellow humans. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. I'm truly honored to be here sharing this human experience with you. All right, so I was getting this channel message, pile 3, where you're standing at the edge and you're looking over and you're not sure. You're like, well, I know that I want to go that way, right? But there's also that fear of what's at the bottom. What do I not see? What am I missing? And yet you're still just there, right? And it's funny because I don't remember all the lyrics, but I keep getting songs today. Like I always get songs, but like songs just coming through like wild today. And it was that song from Moana. I can say her name, I promise. Moana. What is it? I've been standing at the edge of this island for as long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. Right? It's like I'm standing at this edge and it was coming through so loud and it wouldn't leave my head. And now that I've got it out, I'm glad. Like I feel like a relief I got it out. Like, oh, okay. But it's this energy where it's like, I'm not sure, you know, it's like, I'm not sure how far it goes. I'm not sure how deep it is. I'm not sure, you know, what's going to happen if I take this leap. Like, what am I going to get from this? But I also feel like Source is reminding you that when you go this place that's unknown, that's when all those benefits happen. And if we just look at Moana, right, like considering that's the song that was coming in, if we just look at Moana and think about, like, she was the only one that was brave enough to go out and search for Maui and to search for the heart of Tahiti. And, you know, like, that's the thing. And she saved her people. She saved the world. Like, she saved all these things. And it was just her bravery that sent her out. But then also to discover that it was a part of her roots, right? And maybe that's a thing, like whatever it is that you're afraid of, pile 3 is actually a part of your roots. Like your ancestors are trying to speak to you and through you, or they're trying to remind you that this is written in your DNA, it's written in your blood lineage, and that it's supposed to be a part of you. And so you're right there, but there's just something that's holding you back. So if this, especially with you choosing the amethyst here, right, with the seed sound Om for the crown chakra, like maybe this is receiving messages from your ancestors, being a psychic medium or a channeler or something along those lines. But let's just use psychic medium as an example really quick, is that if you felt like, you know, I'm scared because what if I connect with something that isn't friendly, or what if I connect with something that is going to take me over, or something along those lines. And it's just remembering, like, you are far more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. And, you know, this interesting energy too is that if you're psychic medium, you know, my mom, my psychic medium comes from my mom's line, the women on my mom's side. And my grandma had it, but she denied it. Like, my grandma denied it. She never shared it with anybody. Like, she would openly deny that she had this ability. And my mom didn't find out about it until much later on in her life. And, you know, when she found out about it, I was the only person that she told, because she even told me, she's like, you're the only person that's not going to judge me for bringing this weird thing to you. And I was like, why would I judge you for that? And it was before I knew that I had the gift too. I think, like, our heart knows. Like, I feel like looking back at it now, I feel like I couldn't judge her because I knew what that felt like. And I knew that, you know, I had been judged when I was a child, and I had told her some of my own experiences with the spirit that had followed me for a long time. And I still at that time was denying my gift, but I'd still told her that experience that I had to try to calm her and remind her that it's okay. Like, this is scary that you're opening up to this now. And I remember one time she told me, like, my mom, she was always like nervous when it came to herself, but for others she was super confident, and she knew how to help people, she knew how to guide people. And she told me once, she's like, you know, when it comes to negative spirits, or she's like, when it comes to spirits that might be like tormenting you, or who are trying to, you know, make you feel bad or whatever it is, that you can tell them to leave and they'll leave. They have to follow what you say. But if you never tell them to leave, they're going to take your silence for permission, and they're going to keep doing what they're doing. Right? And they're gonna feed off of your fear. And so I feel like this is a message from Source reminding you to embrace and embody your power, and how that can be such a wonderful thing for you moving forward. Now, it doesn't have to be psychic medium. Like, you don't have to be a psychic medium. It could just be any of the clairs. It could be the gift of intuition. It could be the gift of premonition. It could be the gift of channeling dreams, or whatever it is. Right? And it doesn't even have to be a spiritual gift. It could be a gift of art or anything like that, you know. But there's the fear of judgment here, and there's the fear of maybe connecting with a not so savory entity, if you will, but remembering that you're far more powerful than the spiritual world. And while we're not more powerful than the creator, we still have the ability, like, we can even send away our guides. We can say, we're done with you. I don't want anything to do with you. And they'll go away. Right? They have to follow our command. And even Source will silence themselves before us if we ask them to. And that's the thing. It's remembering that it's our choice. And so, but if we choose not to say anything and we let our fear get the best of us, oftentimes, especially, like, you know, entities that are like poltergeists, or are, you know, they like to torment people, or they like to cause trouble, or they like to goof around, and they like to elicit fear, if you will. And if you've been with me any amount of time, like, I'm not somebody that's necessarily about the demonic. I do believe that there are very low vibrational energies that may appear what we would label as demonic, but personally, that's just not something that I've ever believed in. I never resonated with that. I always resonated with just certain choices that people make, and we have labeled that as demonic. And so I will use it here because that might be something that's coming up. It's like, oh, like, I'm afraid to connect with those because they're so powerful, but it's not. That's the thing. It doesn't matter how powerful the spirit is. It's not more powerful than you. But if you give it your power, then it's going to use that and feed off of that. It's going to create a lot of craziness in your life. But if you tell it to stop, it has to stop. And that's that reminder for you. And that's why some people who have the gift, right, and are very connected with the gift, they are, they're able to, like, pick and choose what happens, right? It's like, so if there's like a negative energy around them, they cast protection around themselves and they tell it to go away. And they're like, you have to obey me, right? And those are things that matter. But if you don't find your voice in those situations, then remember, how can it ever obey you if you never give it a command? And that's just a thing. And so, and I'm not telling you to believe the way that I believe. That's not what I'm here telling you. I'm just trying to share it with you from my own experiences and the point of view, and like having with my grandma who openly denied her gift, but was aware of it. My mom who wasn't aware of it, but found out later on in her life. And then from me, who was ostracized for my gift and denied my gift because of judgment, and learning how to reaccept it. And so this is what I've gone through the lineage of my own family. But I do feel like this is ancestral oriented. It feels very ancestral oriented. And it's like you're standing on the precipice of this and wanting to dive in, but the unknowns are far bigger to you right now than what's known. And that's what your ancestors and even Source is saying here. It's okay for you to take the leap and trust that we'll be there to protect you and that we'll be there to catch you. Okay, so it just feels really big energy. Fourth house energy is coming in. You could have Pisces in the fourth house. You could have Cancer fourth house, Scorpio fourth house. That came up on another reading too. So you might be here from another reading. You could also have stellium in the 12th house, a stellium in the 4th house. You could have Cancer stellium. You could have Pisces stellium. You could have Sagittarius stellium. You could have Scorpio stellium is coming in. You could also have a couple of trines in your chart, or you could be on the opposite side where you have a couple of squares. And I know that doesn't really narrow it down a whole lot, but for those of you that'll make sense, it will make sense too, okay? So, change is going to come. Pile 3. A change is going to come. Yeah, 5th house energy here. Gemini and Mars. It's time to take action and to speak out, right? Be the leader in your life here. And also, I feel like you speaking out here is helping to heal your inner child. So maybe this is something that was definitely judged, or there was some sort of betrayal here as a child, or there was some sort of upset when you were young in regards to this, and in regards to you speaking this part of yourself out. Like, I keep seeing there's this old, it's an old YouTube video. It's an old YouTube video, but it's a mom recording her son. And her son is looking up at this vent on their roof, and he's having a full-blown conversation looking at this vent. And the mom's recording him, records him for a while, and then she finally asks him, she says, "Who are you talking to?" And he says, "Oh, I'm talking to the lady in the vent." And she's like, "What lady in the vent?" And he's like, "Can't you see her, Mom? She's right there. She's been in the vent this whole time." And then the video ends, right? Like, it just ends. But the little boy, he had to have been like 3 years old. He wasn't very old or anything. I don't feel like this is something that someone could have coerced him to do. I mean, maybe, but it just felt very innocent because she was just so confused. She's just like, I happened upon my son and he's talking to this vent and having this conversation with this vent, and like, what is going on? And that's what he was saying. And so it's just an interesting thing, but it's like, you know, we can either choose as people to nurture that in others, or we can choose to be scared. And so many people choose to be ruled by their fear. And I feel like that's something that happened to you as well. Like, maybe you were a natural artist, you know, with the 5th house here is like natural creative expression. Maybe you were a natural artist. Like, the first time someone gave you a pencil and a paper and some crayons, like, you drew this incredible art piece, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be Van Gogh, but maybe you were 5 years old and you drew something that someone who should have been drawing their whole life drew, right? And they were like, what the heck? How are you so good at this? And then they were scared by that, and they were like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Or maybe someone handed you a guitar and you started playing songs that you've never even seen or heard or listened to before, right? And they got scared because of it. That's what this feels like. Again, it doesn't have to be those things. It could be anything around your expression, but you just had a natural knack for it, and it scared people around you, and so they put a kibosh on it. They're like, oh no, pile 3, you can't do that, that's bad. Or they tried to paint a negative picture around it, you know, like calling it evil or calling it, you know, a walking with sin is, I just heard that walking with sin came in so strong right now. Wow, that was really loud. Whoa, okay. So, and what Source is saying is like the change is around this gift, and truly taking action towards your gift and trusting what's coming through and trusting that it's okay, right? Like don't let the world tell you that you're not supposed to have this gift. That is so wild that people do that. like people find out, you know, you're psychic or something like that, and they're like, oh, you're walking with the devil, you know. And I was called a black witch once because I read tarot and oracle cards, and I help people with stuff like this, and someone told me I was a black witch once, and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and I was like, oh my gosh. In fact, it was family who told me that, and I was just like, you guys don't even know. You don't even know what I do, and you're just going based on your own judgments, right? Like, they're like, well, what you do is bad. And I was like, how do you know if you've never looked into it? Well, I just know because that's what they've told me. And I'm like, that's so funny. Like, people get this preconceived idea of something and they automatically deem it as bad. And it's so odd, right? Like, you think about it. They say fortune telling is a sin, but they're okay if you assume the name of prophet, which is the same thing. It's the same gift. It just has somebody's choosing to call it something different than someone who's a psychic. I'm choosing to call myself a prophet over being a psychic. And now people can accept it who are incredibly religious, right? It's weird how people try to form you to their own comforts. And that's what I feel like Source is trying to say here, is don't let people try to form you to their comfort. Right? They're either going to misunderstand you or they're going to understand you. That's not your business. Your business is to maintain, respect, love, and admire and believe in yourself. Okay? And take action towards that. Also, defending yourself is fine. You know, like telling people stuff like that. Like I had to tell my family member that. I was like, you don't even know me, and yet you're judging me just based on what exactly? And she told me, she said, based on my church. And I was like, isn't that an unfair thing? And then I even used the Bible. I says, doesn't the Bible say, judge not, lest thee be judged? And she just totally stopped interacting with me after that. She's like, I don't really want anything to do with you. And I was like, why? I'm pretty sure it says that in the Bible, though. I was like, I can go and look it up. I got one. And it was just such a problem, right? It was just such an issue. But I was like, if you're going to tell me that, then don't put me down when I also bring yours back to you type energy. And so I feel like that's something that you've done. And it doesn't have to be religion, right? It could be like, maybe it was an artist, right? Again, an example is like an artist gave you a pencil and you drew this beautiful picture, and they were an artist and they've been an artist and practicing for years and years and years. And you're like, oh, your technique is sloppy. And you're like, it's the first time I've ever drawn anything. And they're like, yeah, but if you're going to draw something like that, it needs to be more sharp. It needs to be more clear. You need to have better sketching. You need to have better, what is that? What do they call it? Hetching or whatever? Like when you crisscross shade or whatever. Anyways, I don't know all the terms, but it could be something like that. Right? And there's like this judgment that's going along with that. And I feel like you immediately just shut. You're like, well, geez, if you're going to, be like that, I'm just not even going to do it at all. You know? But it feels like that was the thing. It was like, oh, haha, the joke's on you. I'm just not going to do it at all. But really, the joke was on you when you chose not to pick it up again. And it's nothing like, oh, hey, like you did the wrong thing. You did what you felt was right in the moment to protect yourself. But there's something here where you're going to be re-inspired for your gift, and you're going to find some sort of emotional stability in it, when before it felt highly dangerous or highly scary or highly unorthodox even. Could have been family. This could have been family that was really harsh with you growing up. Like any form of expression that you had, they just shut it down. They're like, nope, you don't have a right to feel. You don't have a right to be heard. You don't have a right to be seen. You're just a pillar, and stand there and behave, right? Remember when my mom used to take us into the store and she's like, all right, don't ask for anything. Don't cry. Don't throw a fit. If you do, we're going to leave the cart and we're going to go home. And I don't care if the cart's full or not. We're going to leave it where it's at and we're going to go home. And so how the shopping goes is all dependent on how you guys show up. I remember that. Behave or else. That was always how it ended. Behave or else. And I realize now that that was a form of conforming, right? Like, you conform to how I expect you to behave, and then things will be fine. And I'll tell you what, there was a couple times we tested the theory, and yeah, my mom, sure enough, she left the cart where it was, full of groceries, and grabbed our hands, dragged us to the car, spanked us in the car, and drove us home. She was like, I told you. You know, but again, it's like that song by I was taught that speaking up was talking back, right? It's a lose-lose. No matter. Okay. Yeah, but that, like, I was taught that speaking up was talking back. Like, that's what it feels like here. It's like you were trying to speak up for yourself for something. A creative expression. That's what you were trying to speak up for yourself. And you were taught that being creatively expressive was, for some reason, not conforming to the wishes of the adults or the caretakers in your vicinity. That's what this feels like. Yeah, family in particular. But definitely a lot of harsh judgments towards you. Definitely a lot of harsh words were being said about your calling, your true purpose. This is something that you have been tapped into since you were a child. And there's been, I heard conspiracy. That's weird, but that's what came through. There's been conspiracy around it since you were a child. I'm not one to feed conspiracy theories and all that, but I do feel like it was just that you elicited a lot of fear in the people around you because of this gift. And they didn't know how to handle it. And because they didn't know how to handle it, it was easier to just shut it down, right? And that can feel like a conspiracy. It can, right? Because it's like basically saying, like, you don't matter enough to speak your truth because you're scaring the living bejeebus out of me, and I can't handle that. And so that fear has now translated onto you, and you're wearing that fear, and that's something that has been keeping you from being true to yourself with this gift. You know, you might really resonate with the collective message that I did at the beginning. Yeah, it's feeling like you have to start over. Look at this. You got the 9 of Wands and the 9 of Cups in the reverse, and then the Nameless, or the 13 card. What you guys may know as death, but Tarot Marseille doesn't call it death. It was initially seen as too scary to be named. And I feel like that's really synchronistic here with your reading. Because there's something here that was too scary for people to label, too scary for people to even speak out loud when it came to your abilities. Look, and even before we look at these, like, let's just look at this card for just a second. You see here is the heads of the kings and queens of the past, right? Talking about ancestors. And we were talking about ancestors with your amethyst here. And I feel like that's really interesting, but it's almost like cutting out what has happened with the ancestors. This is something that's been passed down, but it's also been, it's been spoken about with fear, okay? Maybe you speak in tongues, or maybe you speak light languages, or you speak to the angels, or you speak to, right? Like, these are things that are coming through. But whatever this is, it's been passed down from your ancestors. And I feel like there's every generation before you, and this could be through your mother's line or through your father's line, but I feel like every generation before you has had this same gift, and at some point someone's put the kibosh on it. They're like, oh no, we don't do that here. Right? We don't play with those. We don't go down that journey. We don't do this, right? It could be like, I'm getting specifically like hoodoo is coming in here. So maybe you've been drawn to hoodoo, or you had some like natural talents for hoodoo when you were a child. That is a really powerful energy coming in all of a sudden here. But then the fear of hoodoo is like, oh, you know, like whatever people had said about it. And they're like, no, you can't play with that. Like, we don't play with fire, right? And as a child, it was just something that came natural to you. Or maybe you were someone that, you know, naturally as a kid, you spoke in spells, right? Like, you, everywhere you went, you spoke in spells. And to you as a kid, it was just normal for you. You were just like, oh, you know, there was no big thing, not thinking twice about it. And everybody's like, you don't do that. right? We don't act like that. We don't talk like that. We don't try to do stuff like that. And as a kid is like confusing, right? There's a lot of confusing and illusions that were driving this. A lot of fear, especially with the nameless, the 13. It's just the lack of stability around accepting whatever this gift is or whatever this expression is. The other thing is, okay, maybe it's not even an artistic expression. This could be an expression of self, right? So this could be an expression of, maybe you are non-binary, maybe you are gender fluid, maybe you are transgender, maybe you are, you know, gay or lesbian, maybe you are someone that's bisexual or something like that, and just being accepted for who you are. But you've been that way since you were a child, and maybe it's like, you know, again, it's like this energy of people, older generations especially, thinking that there's some sort of reform that you can go through to fix that, like as if you're broken, which is so weird. But, you know, that's what it feels like here. It's interesting because they're showing me this lady that I met. Her name, so my name is Becky. Okay, like if you don't know, my name is Becky, and her name was Becca. Like she went by Becca. We both had the same first name, Rebecca, right? But she went by Becca, and I told her, I was like, oh, that's funny. It's like, I'm Becky. And she goes, oh, I only go by Becky. My husband's the only one that calls me Becky. And I was like, that's funny. Well, we got to talking. I was in Ohio, and I had stopped at one of those car shows that was there, and I ended up running into her and her husband out in the parking lot of a mall. She wasn't even there for the car show. She was just walking through the parking lot because she'd went into one of the stores. This is how coincidental this situation was. It was just wild. But she comes up to me, she starts talking, and we start looking at the cars because we're talking, and we start wandering around, and her husband's talking to my family member, and so on and so forth. And so we're talking, and I just keep talking to her, and we were talking about being accepted in the world, right? Like how hard it is to be accepted. She goes, you know what's wild? She says, I'm a preacher. She's like, I grew up in the church, and she's like, I went on and I decided to become a preacher. And she's like, I was preaching how it's so wrong to be gay in the world. And she's like, lo and behold, you know how funny God's humor is. This is what she told me, right? She goes, lo and behold, you know how funny God's humor is. He gave me 2 gay children, a gay daughter and a gay son. And I said, what was that like? She said, it was incredibly humbling. And she goes, and the thing is that I knew when they were kids, I knew that this is who they were. And so again, expression, right? Someone who's aware and who's willing to change their belief and accept what's unfolding in front of them versus someone who's trying to conform them to what they believe. And she's like, I ended up opening a different type of church that was an all-inclusive church because of this. And it really has driven me to looking at the judgments that we make of people based on who they are, when we have no right to judge them. And she was just so wise, and she gave me her card and everything. But just having this conversation with her was just, it was so eye-opening and wonderful. It was so wonderful to hear someone from the church who's just not bound by the old ways, but rather looking at it through the humorous eyes of our Creator, right? Like, oh, okay, so you refuse to accept that this is the way of the world? And I can't remember what I was watching, but I was even talking about it, like, where it's all in nature, right? Like, there is nothing that's wrong. But the Alcatraz, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Alcatraz, it's not necessarily on the endangered bird list, but it's not far away from it, from what I know. And there's certain islands that the Alcatraz is on, and the Alcatraz is a bird that needs partnership in its life. And there's so few female Alcatraz that the males, they go and they compete for the attention of the females. And if the female gets overwhelmed by how many males are there, then she'll leave. And she'll be like, oh, no, sorry, I totally deny all of you. And what will happen is there'll be older male Alcatraz that will come and court the younger male Alcatraz. And they will end up spending their life together because of that. And it's because they're birds of companion, but they'll never mate. They'll never, once they choose a companion, like, they never cheat. They don't ever go and you know, they're not trying to sleep around with all the other birds. Like, that's something that's coming in. And so this is what it feels like. This is like something inherent to you. This is something that is who you are. And that's what's coming through. And there's been a lot of judgment around who you are. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Something that's materialistic in this world. Oh yeah. This is wild. So it's something that's manifested in this world. And when we say manifested, I'm not talking about something that someone has manifested. It's you manifesting as you are in this world, okay? And people are thinking that this is not fair. Like, why do we have to deal with this? Why do we have to put up with this in our family? Why do we have to have this in our line? And why do we have to try to make this better? And it's not something to make better. It's just something for them. And the ones that are the most judgmental of this, you came as a means for them to see with eyes of love, and they're refusing to do that. That's not for you to change them, okay? And we see that they're the ones that they're so focused on the physical aspect of this. And it's wild that the Page of Wands would come out, because the Page of Wands talks about someone who's immature sexually, right? Like someone, but as soon as I saw it, it was funny because I got that immediate energy that's exactly what it was. It's like they're seeing your sexual expression as being something that needs to be fixed when it's just a part of who you are, right? You could have come from pile number 1, and I just want to mention that you do not have to watch pile number 1 if you're not from pile 1, but if you were also here from pile 1, that's just an additional confirmation for you. But for others, it's like that. It's the gift, and they're looking at it in terms of like, it's not fair that you've been given something that you have free reign to make money with or to have abundance with. They feel like it's just unfair. Like you've been given something that they weren't, but they never nurtured that part of themselves. They never accepted that part of themselves. They tried to conform. And this is what's changing for you, is the harsh judgment that you've taken from them for yourself. You're letting that go. Right? So the voice that is in your mind that is tearing you a new one here and there is actually their voice, right? Like our voice will assume that at some point in time. We'll believe it, we'll convince ourselves of it, and we'll become that judger of ourselves. And that's what's happening, is like you're becoming aware of that. You're becoming aware of the voice within that has been really harmful and hurtful towards self. And that is helping you to let go of these very immature ideals, right? They're very childish notions. Like when we think that our way of the world is the only way that is right and the only way that can be, we're not seeing with eyes of love, right? There's this line in this other song that I've been looking for. It's like the man you praise is the polar opposite of the love you claim comes from God, right? So that's the thing. It's like the man you praise is the polar opposite of the love you claim from God, comes from God. And that's also the line, if you watch that other reading, it came out the line, it says, silence isn't love, it's complacency made clean. And I feel like that's just such a powerful line. And I feel like that too is like being the polar opposite of the love you claim from God. Like, some people really claim that their God is all loving, but they're the most judgment, harsh people you'll ever meet in the world. And it's just like, that's why I personally have never resonated with religion, is because of that judgment. My family received that judgment from so many different churches. We were kicked out of churches. And it's just all because of my mom, the way she believed and the way she saw the world, and how that filtered down to my brother and I. And then in turn, we were getting judged as well, like in youth group and things like that. And we would get kicked out of youth group. And so it was something that like we were getting judged very harshly for things. And it's not like it was radical or anything like that. But my mom, she raised us to be all inclusive, right? Like skin color didn't matter. Your sexual orientation didn't matter. Who you were didn't matter. It was your character. If we looked at your character, not that she was a good judge of character, or not that she was good at teaching us to be good judges of character, but that's what I was raised by, is those principles, right? And I have family who came from the time of segregation, and so there was a lot of clashing ideas in our family. And my brother, both, and I, we were raised to be very accepting, because that was my mom's belief and viewpoint, and that was something that she really pushed on us. She's like, people deserve to be included, no matter their background, no matter who they are, no matter what they look like everybody deserves to be included. And And I still believe that to this day, you know, and I believe we're all here trying to live this life. But there's something here where just you being you has triggered a lot of people and has created a lot of dissonance with them. But it's also something that really hits home for them, but they're not being honest about. And I feel like regardless of that, like Source just wants to point that out. There's a lot of immaturity here. And there's a lot of feeling like they have to force you to be separate in order to get you to comply, right? Like, oh my gosh, I have to get them to comply to the way I see the world. But that immaturity has already been made aware to you. Like, you're seeing it for what it is, while also seeing that the voice inside was never yours to carry. And so there's something else that's emerging internally, and that's a voice of love here, which is going to radically change the way that you approach the world in front of you. And it's going to make you feel more expressive and more authentic and more true to yourself. Like, you're not going to let these childish energies rule your journey any longer, if you will, right? And it's not like you were consciously doing that. It's just the wound. It's the wound that's present. We have Venus energy coming out. Yeah, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. And a lot of that comes with self, right? Venus is ruled by Aphrodite. And I love Aphrodite as a goddess because she's too good to be in love with anybody, right? She's too good. Like, she's just, that's it. No one can love her because she's in love with herself. And that's how we should be. And it's not that anyone can't love us. It's just that we should be so in love with ourselves that we'll always respect, cherish, admire, and treat ourselves as the precious gems that we are, which is so much easier said than done, but worth the practice, right? Worth the practice. And Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom. Yeah, freedom to be you. And freedom to optimistically be you, not feel like you have to hide any longer, not feeling like you have to wear a mask or to alter who you are, right? Yeah, look at this. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. There's something here that's about to boil over. I don't feel like this is a fight necessarily, but I do feel like this could be someone coming in and standing up for you, or this is such a blatant truth that's being seen through you to the people around you that they can no longer deny it. Or if they try to deny it, like, you're so sure of what has happened that you're like, you know what, here's the finger, take it, sit on it and spin on it. I don't give a gosh darn whatever you do, but I am not gonna listen to you anymore. And I don't feel like your opinion matters anymore because I realize just how childish you truly are. Like, that's what this feels like. But it's like, it's a confirmation for yourself. This feels like a confirmation where it's just an ending. This is a door closing. And it's not just closing, it's slamming shut. It is slammed. Okay, Nat, get out of my face, homie. Holy crap. There's this little tiny bug flying in my face. It looked like a gnat. I don't know. Anyways, there's little gnats outside right now. They're wild, but it was flying up in my eyes. Yeah, it's like something that's bothered you, something that's small. So it could be something that boils over that's small, or it's just like that one little thing where you're just like, enough is enough. I'm tired of making it, I'm tired of putting my power in your hands when you have done nothing but drag me through the mud and create hardships and difficulties in my life. I'm done. And there's no going back. Yeah, show the world the real you. Exactly. You deserve to be seen as you are, as who you are. No matter if people accept you or not, if you accept you, then you can take on the world. And you'll win every time. Every time. I love that for you. Right? And I try, and that's what I say here. It's like, this is an all-inclusive channel because I get it. You, no matter who you are, what you got going on in your life, everybody deserves love and everybody deserves to be seen. We all do. Responsibility. Yeah, your responsibility to the situation is shifting. There's something that's being painted, right? Like, it's being painted into existence for you to see the truth of it. But it's like, I feel like this is a direct message from source. Like, something's being shown to you, a very real truth. Like, if this person's really childish, even though you know they're childish, like, there's just something that they're, okay, so it's like that. If this is someone who's childish, like, you've known that they've been childish, but now they're gonna throw a fit like a 2-year-old. Like, literally get on the ground and bang their hands on the ground and their feet on the ground, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're a grown person. What is going on? It's going to be so weird, but at the same time, you're like, oh, yep, that's my sign. Here's your sign. And that helps you to shift your responsibility, because I feel like you've been either taking care of these people or you've been continuing to keep them in your life, and it's been really frustrating for you, and you've been exhausted and overwhelmed and lacking any kind of vitality or anything like that, and it's just because they're really wearing on you. And I feel like even if you have to be around them, you're no longer giving them anything. Like, it's just basically, if they stonewall you, you're gonna stonewall them back. But it's not an eye for an eye. That's not what this is. You've just seen something that you can't unsee. You can't unsee. It's like if you see them acting, you see, say you see a 50-year-old acting like a 2-year-old, like, you can't unsee that, right? You can't. Even though this person claims to everybody they're sound of mind, this person claims that they know what they got going on, this person claims that they have everything figured out, and you see that person act like a 2-year-old, hands banging on the ground, legs banging on the ground, on their stomach, screaming at the top of their lungs, you're like, I can't unsee that. I just can't. I can't unsee exactly what I just saw. It totally alters your perception of these people. Yeah, the ones that forced you into a state of persecution, like they were judging you, right? We said that here. This was judgment, and it created a mental prison for you. And the key here is, like, Source is giving you this huge key that's breaking down the door, basically, and where you're being shown a truth of where they're coming from. Yeah, honesty. Wow, look at this. Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And now you're going to be honest with yourself. Like, do I really need to give my energy to this situation? Do I really need to pour back into this? Or is it safer and more effective for me to just cut ties and be with myself? Even if you're still around this person, that doesn't mean that you have to give to them energetically. Yeah, look at this. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. These are people who made you doubt yourself. Doubt your gifts, doubt your truth, doubt your sexual orientation. They made you doubt who you are, made it feel like you didn't belong. Screw them. They're not you. They don't know how you feel. You know how you feel, and as long as that's authentic to you, let me just say that, as long as it's authentic to you and you've known this about yourself, that's all that matters. Right? And you're not, because I do know that they're trend followers. I get that. I can appreciate that. But I'm saying, for those of you where this is something that you've been forced to put into a box because they don't want to accept you, and they don't want to accept that, and they've judged you and they've been harsh with you, this is what's changing for you. You're not a trendsetter, you're not a trend follower. You're someone who's just trying to be yourself and be free to express yourself. And while you've always had some modicum of freedom of expression, you've never felt like you could truly put yourself out there. And that's where this is changing, like the ability to truly put yourself out there. Okay, this one wants to come out too. Gemini, change your mind. Yeah. You change your mind on this person. That's the thing. Like, Gemini twice, right? You've adapted to the situation. What is this? Third house. Take a good look around. Look, something you're going to hear or see, or something's going to be spoken. There's something here that you realize, like, it's going to change the way you logically have shown up for this person or this situation. The logic shifts, and when the logic shifts, your energy around the situation changes in its entirety. And you're meant to see it. Like, you're meant to see this unfold this way. But I feel like it's also going to be like a breath of relief. Like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. Like, I know that this is how this person is. Because I feel like this person was always making you feel like you were crazy. I keep saying this person, but again, it could be a situation. Okay, it feels like a person. We have vacation here. Pause and routine can unveil paths to prosperity and hidden pitfalls. Watch for the signs. Pause, perceive, and proceed. So yeah, this is going to make you pause and really look at what's happening. We have the siren song. Beware of the alluring tunes that promise more than they deliver. Listen wisely. So something you're going to hear, something that's honest that you're going to hear is going to come out. There's no more for this person hiding. Party, celebration that brings clarity. Hidden feelings emerge amidst the fun. Listen to the heart, not just the music. Yeah, so letting your heart be seen, right? And sometimes that's the scariest part for ourselves, especially when we've been so traumatized around ourselves. By family, by friends, by people who we grew up around, whatever it is, right? Those traumas can create a situation where it's hard for us to be ourselves. But I feel like this is shifting for you, where you realize, like, are any of these people who I want to be, right? Like, are they living the life that I want to live? And if the answer is no, then why am I putting so much stock into their opinions, right? Yeah, take off. Things will take off much sooner than you expect. Now is a good time to take action. There's no stopping you now. Ain't no stopping us now, right? You're rushing into things without a clear plan of where you're headed. Okay, so I do feel like things are about to work out for you. Things are gonna, when you're able to put yourself out there the way that you've always wanted to, and the way that you've always wanted to be seen, like, that's when people are gonna start magnetizing to you, and they're gonna see the real you. Right now, that's also, as odd as this sounds, this is a way to defend yourself too, is to be true in your expression. Because it's gonna send some vibes out to the people who just don't vibe with you, and they're gonna vibe out. Let them vibe out. Let them go. Yeah, purpose, the shark. So this is a part of your path of purpose. This is the road opening up to you. The road, eh? Archangel Raguel. Justice, discipline, and harmony. Justice is yours. This is the balancing of the scales. You've been through a lot. And so the balancing of the scales is clarity about who you are now. Yeah, find your true love. So again, this goes back to who you love is who you love. And don't feel like that's got to be something that's wrong or hidden or whatever. You love who you love. Own that. Everybody deserves to love who they love. And attracting abundance with Venus. Yeah, so love, self-love, right? Again, Aphrodite, Venus twice. Attracting abundance, stability, self-care, self-love. Magnetizing in financial abundance and financial freedom. These are things that are coming, and maybe all of them, maybe one or two of them, it's going to be different for each person, but I do feel like this is you opening up to the dreams that you've always wanted and realizing that it's yours to speak into existence. And that's what I'm saying, like, Source is giving you the lock, or I'm sorry, the key to the lock. It's like busting down the door, right? Look at this. We have imprisonment, and right behind that, we have a success. Okay? And look, 32 and 42. So there's, after this imprisonment, this period of imprisonment, this period of feeling trapped or consumed or overwhelmed, suppressed. Right? After this period of that, like, you're going to step into your success. It's coming. This came out in another pile too. Reflection. The mirror shows not the whole, but a fraction of the true self lies beneath the surface. Dig deeper to discover your hidden self. Yeah. So the person that you see in the mirror is maybe not somebody that you recognize. And now who's coming through is the person that you've always recognized just beneath the surface. And you're like, yes, this is the person that I've always wanted people to see, but I've been too scared to show. And now you're not so scared anymore. And Work Smart. This came out in another pile too. Are you making it harder than it has to be? Sometimes the solutions are simple. Perhaps it is time to clean house personally and professionally. Start with a clean palette. Stick to the basic needs when it comes to spending and put some money aside. Excuse me. Work smarter, not harder right now. You have Einstein here. Right? It doesn't take a genius. It takes persistence and consistency. It will work out for you. But this is also reminding yourself that you are deserving of good things. And right now you may have to live like nobody else, so later you can live like nobody else. But I do feel like there's a lot that's coming in for you. A lot of good, a lot of abundance, a lot of prosperity in a lot of different forms. Love, relationships, like connections, friendships. This is manifesting material abundance in your life as well. Also with your gift, your expression, people seeing what you have, the value you have to offer. and even more, right? And they're not going to be able to deny you because they're going to see the value in what you have to offer. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this one from the book. We're going to see what it says. Wow. Okay, so for some of you, very, very clear, sacred marriage, right? So sacred marriage coming in. This could be a higher vibrational marriage, your partner, your person. Okay, and I'm not here to say this is a labeled relationship because I feel like labels do inhibit us from finding our true love. Whether that person is or not our true love, it puts a limitation because we're having expectations of the label itself. And so letting go of labels and allowing the love that's meant to come into your life to come in. Knowing that the highest version of love is coming for you. And I feel like that's a really powerful thing for you, pile 3. But letting go of the label, because the label itself has a lot of beliefs. There's an egregore behind the label itself, which is growing out of control. And there's these ideas that other people are putting on you based on this label that it's like, well, I have to fall into this in order for it to fit. But I feel like we're all here to experience a profound love. But maybe we need to let go of the particular person that we have in mind and open up to who Source has for us in this moment. Even if it's not who we thought it would be, it's going to be beyond our wildest dreams. And I feel like especially with Mary Magdalene, because she does talk about twin flames, her card does, okay? But I feel like letting go of the label is a powerful thing. And I've talked about that a lot on this channel. That's why I don't do twin flame readings, because I feel like it inhibits us from actually leaning into finding our true person that we're supposed to spend in this in our incarnation. Mary Magdalene. And I love what she says. You are your own twin flame. You are. Spiritual wholeness leads to new experiences of intimacy and love. Mary Magdalene was the author of a gospel and a chief apostle to the disciples. She has roots in Gnosticism, where she's worshipped as an aspect of the Holy Sophia. Her Ankh pendant signifies her role as a priestess of the Egyptian goddess Iris. Mary holds the Sekna flame, the feminine aspect of God. She presides over the twin flame union, a self-knowledge journey that brings higher consciousness to partnerships. And again, we're not talking about the physical union. We're talking about the union of knowledge and self, okay? The Temple of Magdalene is a space for deep spiritual and sexual healing. Yeah, and we talked about that in your reading too. Wow, you might have resonated with another pile. Your soul has an ancient connection to this temple, and memories of the twin flame union are now being stirred. And it's on page 111. Look at that. Really powerful. As you awaken to the holiest feminine and masculine energies inside your heart, you'll be working deeply on yourself and awakening to your soul's light. This process can span many years. Your healing journey is about becoming whole. All your life, you've been preparing to create a relationship that reflects that inner wholeness. It's not a partnership based on image-driven ideals of perfection, nor is it based on patching up each other's wounds. It's a conscious relationship in which both people take responsibility for their own lives and soul growth. Mary says, before you can experience sacred marriage with another, you need to come home to your own inner twin flame. She gives you a red rose, her symbol of beloved, to signify that you're choosing the sacred marriage inside yourself first. In perfect timing, you'll merge with a partner who reflects your own completeness, right? That's what she's saying, not your twin flame, but a partner who reflects your own completeness. Trust that your heart knows what it's doing to build a synergetic experience of true love that leads the world to higher consciousness. You're a powerful spiritual teacher with a mission to bring the Sekna, feminine force of divinity, to humanity. Clear the vibrational imprint of past lovers through energy work. Work on your relationship and couples therapy. Incorporate sacred ritual into your love life. Your invocation is, I am whole and complete. I'm ready to create a sacred experience of intimacy. What a powerful message. And that's why I say it's interesting, because this whole reading, I'm feeling like you have a right to love who you love, right? And again, I'm not here to tell you that the person you feel like is your twin flame is or isn't your twin flame. That is not up for me to decide. But I will say this, that through the experience of my own journey, I've learned that holding this label over this person is a very unfair expectation. Okay, because what comes with the label is this expectation that everybody else tells us. You're meant to be with this person and this person alone in this incarnation. You're meant to go through these experiences in this incarnation. You're meant to have this in this incarnation. And like, if we don't go through those exact same things in this incarnation, we think that something's wrong with us. But also as a divine feminine, which we see here with Mary Magdalene, even if you're a man on here, you can be a divine feminine or healing the divine feminine from a place where it has been tortured from toxic masculinity. So regardless of who you are and what you identify with, right? Coming from this divine feminine energy, a lot of divine feminines put it on their own shoulders to heal the divine masculine based on their own journey. And that's such a burden. We're not here to heal another person through our journey. We're here to heal ourselves and to allow our journey to reach those whom are ready to receive the healing that comes with our own journey. It is not us to heal in hopes that we're going to connect with this person sometime down the line, but that is an expectation that has been placed on this journey. Okay. And so I just want to remind you, I'm not here to tell you that this person is or isn't. I'm not here to tell you that this person's coming or isn't. That's not my job. But I do feel like remembering that Mary Magdalene is here to say that we're our own twin flames when we come home to ourselves and we can open up to the truth of unconditional love in the 3D realm. And instead of holding it over one person, ask Source to bring the right partner to you in this incarnation, because that's going to take a lot of the pressure off of you and off of what the healing journey has been meaning in the past. Okay. So this is what I see here for you today, pile 3. Very deep, very intense reading, but very powerful as well. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a rose emoji down below and say, I let go of the idea of certain labels. And today I embrace myself in unconditional love, radical self-acceptance, and deep expression of truth. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all the information in the description box below. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, and also a special shout out to the ancestors that came through in this reading. A lot of different energies that came up today. Also, if you watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That makes you part of my Purple Heart Club. And I thank you for those of you that do choose to do that with me. I'm sending you so much love. Here's a big, big hug for you. Thanks for being here and being yourself. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.